pop-up questions. Hindi po kami kasama ni Ma'am Plinky, kasi kami po yung manaka. May prize po yan, huwag kayong mag-alala. Di ba, Ma'am JVM? Ayan po, selected po yan. Dito rin mabibuild yung ating teamwork. Kahit iba't iba yung inyong mga kasama, di ba? Kilala naman natin ang isa't isa kasi nagpakilala naman isa't isa kanina. Take note po yung inyong mga groupings. So mag-start na po tayo for our first presenter this afternoon. Sige, picturean niyo po yung mga kagrupo niyo. Tapos mag-call po kayo mamaya kung sino yung mga yan. So, start na po tayo sa ating first presenter. May defense po tayo. Ma'am G from the Guidance Office po.
Yan. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is wide awake and not feeling sleepy. Okay, so before we start with the orientation from the guidance office, we prepared an icebreaker for everybody. So we gave letters to you. You still have it complete from A to E. Parang vitamins lang, A to E. Okay, May I call in my colleagues, the beautiful people of 203? Ganyan dapat, with confidence. Sige, bigyan natin ng chance yung iba. May I call in the beautiful people and one handsome guy from 203? Ayan. Nahiya pa din sila. Please come in front. Sino pong walang letters? Ay, si Ma'am. Ma'am Jet, maglalaro ka ba? Ay, hindi. Asan si Ma'am Keys? Hindi na namin binigay kay Ma'am Jet. Alam na daw ni Ma'am Jet. Sige. Yung kay Ma'am Casey na lang, bigay natin kasi wala pa naman siya. Yan, para ma-inspire lang kayo, no? Ayan. So, letter A stands for Ma'am Lara, yan. Ma'am Ara, Sir Victor, ayan, sakto. Ma'am Chloe, D, Ma'am Dean, uy, ito, Ireya, Etima, Ireya Etima, na-joke lang po. Okay, so shortly lang, no, habang tinititigan yung kagandahan nila at kagapuhan nila, no, I'll be discussing with you the introduction or introduce to you who is Guidance Office and then the Guidance Office policies, the uses of endorsement form, and the other services. Okay, so ready na po ba kayo? Yes. Okay, so ang ating laro, ngayong araw na ito, yan ay tinawag na bawal ang judgmental. Okay. Supposedly kasi kukuha ako from different departments, but sa tingin ko may mananalo agad kapag kukuha kasi magkakakilala. So itong mga to, exclusive yung mga pagkakaibigan nila. So dito tayo lahat kukuha ng mga questions. So all you have to do, magbibigay ako ng statement or question, and whoever represents yung nare-refer ko, itataas nyo lang. Apo, yung letter lang. Okay. So since ano naman tayo, staff naman tayo and faculty and educators, I believe honest naman kayo sa pag-point system ninyo. Kayo na po ang mag-create ng point system. Okay, so kayo na po ang mag-note ng points na makukuha nyo for every correct answer. Siyempre, pag may winner, may prize. Ma'am Riza, hindi, joke lang. Sir Rob, kaya naman, hindi, joke lang po. Joke lang po yan. Okay, ready na ba kayo? Ano lang to hindi pa to kasama. Tingnan lang natin kung talaga nagpipay attention kayo. First question. Sino sa kanila ang stress na pero hindi pa nagsimula? Uy, grabe kayo. Grabe. Cervic with a unanimous decision. Hindi na ako kakausapin ni Cervic after. Hindi po yun kasi gulat siya. Pero hindi kami gulat. Joke lang. Joke lang, Cervic. Ito na, totoong question na. Ito na yung may points, ha? Ma'am, nasa na yung letters ni Ma'am ano? Wala. Ma'am Case, pahingi nga nung letters mo. Pabigay na lang kay Ma'am Niam. Ma'am Case? Ma'am Case? Hindi pwede. Kasali ka. Pag ibibigay mo yan, sir, yung letters mo, ikaw na lang mag-sponsor ng prize. Joke lang. Hindi pwede mananalo ka agad. Ma'am Case, ayan pala. Ma'am Case yun? Earth calling Case yun. Okay, totoo na to. Tingnan natin kung gaano kayo ka-observant sa mga... Number 1. Sino sa kanila ang nagtatago ng tasa sa cash box? Sino sa kanila? Is it A, Ma'am Lara, B, Sir Victor, C, Ma'am Chloe? Naku, parang walang nakakaalam. Bawal magtanungan. Ayan na, final answer? Si Sir Vic din. The answer is correct. Si Madam Ana. Si Ma'am Fatty po. Sabi ko nga bawal judgmental. Porkit pa mahiling magkape. Si Ma'am Esther, dalawa. 1 point for Ma'am Esther and Ma'am Ana. Second question. I-note na lang ninyo. Sila na, kanya-kanyang note na nga. Kasi total honest naman tayo dito, guys. So, number 2. Siyempre exempt na rito si Sir Vic. Kasi lagi niyo lang siya sinasagot. Number 2, sino sa kanila ang sumali na ng pageant? Sino sa kanila ang sumali na ng pageant? Bibigyan ko pa kayo ng chance. Sige. Final answer? Final answer? Okay. Right answer is 2. Ma'am Chloe and Ma'am Tin. Wait, may twist. 2 beses to sumali. Kayo ayaw niyong piliin. Si Ma'am Chloe ay 2 beses to sumali ng pageant. Kayo bawal judgmental Number 3. Tingnan natin kung gaano kayo kagaling. Sino sa kanila ang negosyante? Sir Vic na naman. Sige. Bakit taas ang mga sagot? Sino sa kanila ang negosyante? Letter E, letter A, letter A, letter C, letter A. Para ano? Ikaw ba ang negosyante?
Hindi, ma'am.
Sorry, letter A. Ikaw ba ang negosyante?
Hindi po.
Ikaw ba ang negosyante?
No.
No. Ikaw ba ang negosyante?
Mahina ako sa math, ma'am.
Ang negosyante ay si Ma'am Pat. Oh. Ano daw binibenta niya? Too many to mention. Too many to mention. Oh, ito naman. Number 5. Sino sa kanila ang dancer? Sino sa kanila ang dancer? Pwede naman dalawa. Kung litong-lito kayo. Sino? Ikaw ba ay dancer?
No.
No. Ikaw ba ay dancer?
Production number, yes. Pero technically, no.
No. Yung mga sumagot ng hindi. Ikaw ba ay dancer?
Hindi po.
Hindi. Letter C, baba na. Sample? Ano ang genre mo, sir?
Genre ko? Ballroom.
Ballroom. Ma'am Lara.
Robotics for hip-hop.
Alam na kung sino ang PE teacher sa dancing. Yay! Number 5. Sino sa kanila ang nakapag-work na sa catering? Grabe naman yung basihan ninyo. Nalito na si Doc. Ikaw ba ay nag-work na sa catering?
Hindi pa po.
Kayo po?
Hindi po.
Hindi po. Mga taga-kain lang tong mga to. Kayo po?
Taga-kain lang ako, ma'am.
Taga-kain lang. Ikaw po, madam?
Taga-order.
Hindi po niya business, nag-work lang po siya sa catering. Ayan nakakadiskobrehan na tayo dito ng mga ano. Uy! Manalo nata si Ma'am Ana, nakakailan na siya. Tsaka si Ma'am Plinky and Ma'am Judy. Tama ba? Oh, ito. Maganda to. Pwede rin po siya sa BA. Next. Ito. Sino sa kanila ang na-principal's office na? Siyempre noon. Sino sa kanila ang na-principal's office na? Grabe naman si... grabe siya. Ano? Sige, sagot. Grabe kayo kay Sir Vic. Okay, taas ang sagot, taas. Nagsasorry na sila. Ang tamang sagot ay letter C at letter E. Dalawa. Bakit nga ba kayo na principal's office? Hindi, wag na nating tanongin. Wag na. To maintain, dignity. Ito. Sino sa kanila na try nang magpakulot ng buhok? Grabe, Sir Vic. Very consistent friend si Sir Frank. Ikaw lahat ang sinasabi niya. From 1 to 6. Sino? Sir Vic, bibigyan kita ng pagkakataong sumagot. Ikaw ba yung nagpakulot na? Hindi. Ma'am Lara? Hindi. Ma'am Chloe? Ma'am Fat? Ma'am Tin. Oho. Close. Ay, may friend ka dito. Alam niya. Ma'am Niyam. Next. Sino sa kanila ang ayaw sa Channel 7? Sir Vic, walang maitatago sa'yo. Lahat nila, alam nila lahat. Ba't ganun? Bonus question daw si Sir Vic dito. Okay. Sige. Si Sir Vic po ang sagot. Sino sa kanila ang pumasok na ng baliktad ang damit? Taas ang letter, bilis. Taas ang letter, ang sagot. Hindi po pwede, panalo ka na agad. Ang sagot ay... Magtaas na lang ng kamay. Si Ma'am Chloe.
Tapos 10 a.m. na po, biglang kinausap ako ni Ma'am Tin, sabi niya, tapos hindi niya pa po sinabi sa akin ng personal, chinat niya pa po sa akin. Ma'am, parang baliktad yung damit mo.
Ayan, di ba? Ito naman. Thank you for explaining, Ma'am Chloe. Ang dami mong panalo dito sa mga questions natin. Sino sa kanila ang first choice ay nursing as a course? First choice. Grabe ang consistent, Sir Frank. Grabe, Sir Frank. Sino? Ang sagot? Ikaw ba, Ma'am Fat? Sagot siya sa dago. Ikaw ba, Ma'am Tin? Siya po ang sagot. Next. Ito, hindi nyo akalain din. Sino sa kanila ang naging SSG president na? No sharing of answers, Doc. Narinig na nila lahat. Bakit? Magpalit ka ng sagot, Sir Frank. Sino ang sagot? Tama po, si Ma'am Lara po. Pakibilang yung points, 5 points. Last na po ito. Hindi, may dalawa pa. Sino sa kanila ang hindi mahilig sa soft drinks? Hindi mahilig sa soft drinks. Ikaw po ba, sir? Ikaw kasi ang laging tinuturo eh.
Kahit nagiinom ako. Kape,
Correction daw po. Tubig niya daw yung soft drinks.
water, yan.
Water din naman daw. Madam.
It runs in my blood na po ang coffee. Kaya lagi pong may Gaviscon. Kaya nga, ma'am, hindi po mahilig sa Coke.
Okay. Hindi mahilig. Hindi rin mahilig. Ikaw?
Hindi. Ano ba? Mahilig po ako sa soft drink.
Mahilig.
Tubig ko na din yung Coke. Hindi po talaga.
Hindi siya umiinom. So siya po ang sagot. Si Ma'am Lara kasi sometimes ba? So siya talaga ang hindi umiinom. Okay. Last, sino sa kanilang nagko-collect ng resibo? Sir Vic, walang may tatago talaga sa'yo. Lugi ka sa mga ganito. Sino ang sagot? Sir Vic, ang sagot. Okay. So, yun lang po. Thank you so much, people, beautiful people of 203. Sino po sa inyo ang nanalo? Ilang points sa inyo, ma'am? 7, 6, 5, 7 din? 9 points! Ma'am Esther, 9 points. Tamang hinala parate. Okay, let me just share to you the essence of the game in connection. As educators and working in an educational institution, we face different kinds of students or even colleagues with different backgrounds, different lifestyle, and different approaches in learning. So let us all remember that what seem so bad, no, they look so bad outside, it doesn't mean that yun na sila all throughout their lives. So yung mga estudyante natin ngayon ay pabagsak-bagsak, hindi natin alam sila pala yung magiging influencer later on. So let not make quick judgments to our students, na especially those who are struggling with their studies. Yeah, so sino pang makakapag-akala na ang dating mga na principal's office ay magkakaroon ng 2 lisensya ngayon, di ba? So hindi natin masasabi. So ganun din po sana din yung tingin natin sa mga estudyante natin na papasok. Especially yung mga medyo, sabihin natin mga medyo sakit sa ulo talaga. Okay, so sabi nga ng isang sculpturist, tama ba? Sculpturist. Okay, so sabi niya, bakit daw ang galing mag-sculpture ng taong ito? Unang-una, makikita niya yung wood. Wood pa lang yun, pero nakita niya na yung potential ng wood. Okay, so parang ganun din dapat tayo as educators. We don't just look at the outside or the appearance of our students or what they are going through, but also we have to look deep within them so that we could be of help to our students. So yan, bawal po ang judgmental. Okay, so I present to you, of course, our guidance office. Who are the people in the guidance office? Me, myself, and I, and you. Okay, so as of now, ako po. And of course, with your help, no, kung wala din naman po kayo, because I consider you also as good counselors or great influencers to our students. So the goal of the guidance office, yan, may goal din po tayo sa guidance office. Actually, I already submitted it to the HR. So the goal of the guidance office is to win, disciple, and to produce leaders sa ating institution. Why to win? Because not all problems can be handled. Kumbaga, hindi ako din, with much experience in counseling, hindi ko masasabing I could really give them the best solution. Or kahit din kayo as educators, hindi natin masasabi na maibibigay natin yung the best advice or masusunod ba ng itong estudyante na to yung advice na ibibigay natin sa kanila. So, the goal of the guidance is to win them or to point them to their maker so that sila po mismo makikita nila yung worth nila as a person, okay, in regards to how the maker sees them or how the designer of their lives sees them. That's why later on I will show to you the services that we offer in the guidance office. Next is to disciple or to, when we say disciple, that is to train them into the ultimate model. Sino ba yung ultimate model natin? Si Jesus Christ. So disciple them to Christ-likeness. Okay, so in guidance office, we are not offering any religion. No, we are actually pointing them to their maker, which is kahit anong religion man pumasok dyan yung estudyante, we all have, and you can agree with us, so we all have the same God. And we all need God, especially our students. No, lalo na po ngayon, it's been 3 years of pandemic. We don't even know what's going on sa loob ng bahay nila. Or maybe, can I remove my mask, madam? Disinfect ko na lang. Nahirapan ako huminga. Sorry. Hinabol ko. Ayun. So, hindi natin alam kung ano nang nangyayari sa kanila, no, sa loob ng family. Maybe some of them, no, they realize they don't really have an actual family. No, meron lang silang physical brother, meron silang physical parents, but not in relationship. So, ano yung impact na yon? No, madadala nila yon pagbalik nila dito sa school. Because most of the time, 3 years ago, they're used to being here 8 hours for 6 days. Andito sila. And most of their time din nawala sila dito, they spend it with their friends. So maybe there are discoveries na meron sila sa loob ng bahay nila, that they don't even actually have a family. Diba? So, malaking impact yon. Or, some of them, they have bad experiences with their families. So, yung mga bagay na yun, hindi po natin agad-agad masusolusyonan as educators and me as a guidance coordinator. That's why our goal is to win them to God, disciple them biblically. So, we have a biblical reference in discipling and counseling the students. And of course, to produce leaders. As we all know, no, in our environment, especially in the Philippines, siguro aware naman kayo kung anong klaseng leaders ang meron tayo. When I speak of leaders, they are the professionals, no? The doctors, the nurses, the future educators as well, politicians, businessmen, managers, and so on and so forth. Okay, so marami kaming mga naging estudyante dito even when I was a part-time instructor here way back in 2009, 2010. No, marami po kaming mga natulungan, no, na nung naging professional sila, nakakatuwa kasi this person is a graduate of BSA. Tapos naging accountant siya sa isang malaking kumpanya. No, sabihin ko na kasi hindi naman siya kilala. Sa Jollibee Food Corporation. At may mga sinasabi ang mga bosses nila to alter, okay, yung mga sa mga financial statements and so on. So, hindi po nakayanan ng konsensya ngayon because yun nga, naging in-depth siya pagdating sa salita ng Diyos and through counseling. Nagkaroon siya ng bagong mindset na as a CPA, hindi dapat ginagamit yung profession na yun para lang, alam mo yun, magkakaroon siya ng discernment. Okay? So, you wanna produce students like that na magkakaroon ng discernment na kapag nagtrabaho sila, hindi lang sila basta-basta susunod. No, dapat alam nila kung ano yung mga pinapasok nila, kung tama pa ba o mali na yung pinapagawa ng bosses nila. Okay, so it's a long term actually. Hindi lang yung guidance office ang makakapag-influence nun, even as faculty and staff and wherever they go. So it's very important in a short period of time, we can maximize our influence to our students. Yun po. So win, disciple, and produce leaders. Next is the policies. Yan, the policies of the guidance office covers more on the rights and limitations of the students. However, this should be known to all faculty and staff so that you can endorse it to our office with the following cases. Unahin ko na lang po muna ito kasi importante siya. So, policies on grievances. So, these are student complaints against students or nagkakaroon na ng away sa loob ng classroom ninyo. Sino sa inyo naka-experience na ng ganun? Nag-away yung dalawang estudyante mo sa loob ng classroom? Wala pa. Ako, sa kabilang school, criminology students kasi sila. So, malapit na sila magsuntukan and all. So, ayun, policy is, you endorse it agad-agad sa guidance office before pa magkaroon ng any damages or even bago pa sila makagawa ng hindi maganda sa isa't isa, i-endorse nyo na yun agad sa guidance office. But pakiusap ko lang din po sa bawat isa sa atin, huwag niyo pong gawing panakot ang guidance office. Hindi po kami parehas ng principal's office. Okay? So ang guidance office, kasi pag sinabi niyong ipapa-guidance kita, magkakaroon ng maling notion yung estudyante na pag napunta ako sa guidance, parang madidegrade ako, masasaktan ako, madidiscipline ako, at yun yung mga ayaw ng mga estudyante, no? Yung part na madidegrade sila, especially yung generation ngayon ng mga students, ayaw nilang napapahiya sila. So let's just accept na merong mga culture na ang mga generations, no? Hindi na sila katulad natin noon, tama? Na takot tayo sa mga teachers natin. Sila medyo mas madali sa kanilang magreklamo kesa sumunod. Yun. So, yun yung naging generational culture nila ngayon. Next is students' complaints against a faculty or staff. Okay, so it is encouraged when there is a complaint against a faculty or colleague. Okay, pag may nag-open sa inyo na estudyante about a complaint against a staff or against a faculty, it's best to endorse it na lang po sa guidance office to avoid biases. Okay? Or I trust you with your counseling, but meron din po kaming kinokollect na data and it should be kumbaga sa data privacy ng complaints ng mga bata, it's best na i-direct nyo na lang din po sa ating guidance office for the proper procedure ng counseling. So, ito po ang mga rights ng students para lang din malaman ninyo, no, based from our student handbook. Student may ask for a dialogue. If ever po sa inyo, no, kayo po ang kinomplain, he may ask for a dialogue with you. Tapos ako po as a guidance officer will act as a facilitator. So doon po kayo mag-uusap, not inside the classroom. When everybody else is hearing, no, kung ano yung pinag-uusapan ninyo nung estudyante. So it's best, no, sa labas po kayo mag-uusap. Especially kapag may mga nire-raise na siya na personal, no, against you. O kayo din, meron din kayo sigurong personal. Pero yun nga, endorse yun na lang siya doon, antayin niya kayong matapos magklase, and then puntahan nyo na lang siya doon sa guidance office. Pero hindi naman ito mangyayari, diba? Ino-orient ko lang kayo. Parang natakot kayo bigla. Okay, or kaya nga po orientation, para if ever lang may mangyaring ganito. Kasi hindi natin kilala, especially ngayon. Ewan ko lang kung kayo ay kinakabahan. Ako kasi kinakabahan sa bagong pagpasok ng mga batang ito. Kasi hindi natin sila nakita for almost 3 years, tama? Wala tayong interaction sa kanila, ano lang, cellphone lang, chat lang, and all. Yan. So, if it's a class, pag klase naman ng may complaint against an instructor, it should be in a written form. Tapos pupunta na lang po sila sa guidance office. So, you will not settle these matters, no? Kami po ang magsisettle nito. Next is, student complaints against any department. Student may ask for a dialogue with the department. Guidance office will act as a facilitator. Ganun din po. But kung mahahandle nyo naman on your own sa classroom, pero wag nyo nga po munang, kumbaga, sasagutin din doon. After po ng klase, pwede nyo pong kausapin. If you can handle it on your own, you may handle it on your own. Pag hindi na siya ma-handle, endorse it to the guidance office. So it's best po, if I may request, a basic counseling with the teachers, pwede rin po. No? Pwede kayong magtanong sa akin on how to handle din po. So in general, complaints should be in a written form signed by the complainant. So dialogue should always be documented as well and signed by both parties after. So if ever, kunyari, kayo naman po ang may complaint dun sa estudyante, ano po ang gagawin ninyo? As a faculty, when it's done inside your classroom, syempre may mga rules po kayo, di ba? Nasasabihin before you start the class, tama po ba? Okay. So pag meron silang nagawa na against dun sa rule, yun din po, you will try to counsel him or her na inside the classroom. Pag hindi na po ma-handle, yun po, pwede nyo na pong dalhin sa guidance office. But I suggest na it should be in a proper manner whenever we talk to our students. Yun po. Any questions on that po? Any suggestions on that? None? Sure? Okay, so ang code of discipline po natin, sorry, hindi nga pala nasusundan. Ayan. So, ang ating disciplinary actions will include warning. You may also use this, warning. Ang warning po natin ay hanggang tatlong offense. Okay. So, pag nakatatlo na po siya, hindi pa po siya nakikinig sa inyo, yun na pwede na po natin siyang i-elevate into reproof. And then, yung suspension, non-readmission, and exclusion, meron po tayong pinalit doon as alternative. So, we saw na yung suspension, non-readmission, tsaka exclusion, ang nagbe-benefit pag na-suspend si student, ay si student, syempre hindi siya papasok, di ba? Di masaya siya. Okay, tapos pagbalik niya, hindi naman naayos, di ba? Kung ano yung naging gawi niya sa loob ng classroom. So yun po, pupunta po siya sa guidance office, i-endorse niyo po siya for restoration period. Anong ginagawa sa restoration period? Ina-address po namin yung misconduct nung estudyante. Kasi sa suspension, hindi naman talaga siya na-address. Masaya pa nga siya, hindi siya papasok. Di ba? Pero dun po sa restoration, we try to address kung ano talaga yung issue ng bata. Especially, series of counseling po kasi ang mangyayari dyan. Hindi natin alam kung saan talaga nang gagaling. Like for example, bullying. No? Bullying is not allowed. Okay? So anywhere, any kahit nga nasa labas, no? Kahit nasa Facebook pa sila nagbully, bawal po yun. But if you are a student of PAS College, ang binubully mo ay mostly kapag PAS din na student, covered pa rin po ng policy ito. Okay? So nag-post siya sa Facebook, meron kaming naging ganyan, nag-post siya against a teacher. Okay? So covered pa rin yun, kahit hindi siya nangyari sa loob ng classroom. Okay? So covered yun ng policies ng school. Basis for endorsing the students to the guidance office. Ito po yung bago nating wala siya dyan. Ma'am Jet, pwedeng mag-connect. Connect na lang ako. Connect na lang ako. Thanks. Ngayon, papakita ko lang po sa inyo yung revised, endorsement form na mas madali siyang maintindihan. Kasi mostly ang nangyayari, dumediretso sa akin yung bata. Supposedly, hindi po dapat dediretso sa akin. I-endorse dapat siya. Ibig sabihin, pag in-endorse nyo, nakausap nyo, alam nyo ang problema, alam nyo ang pinagdadaanan ng bata, and may record kayo kung ano ang nangyari sa loob ng classroom. Okay? So yung basis for endorsing the students, number 1 is frequent absences. Okay? Ito magiging, as per Sir Rob, magiging lenient muna tayo sa absences. Pero, check natin sila siguro with 3 or more missed activities. Of course, you will give them warnings and all. Pero pag naka 3 consecutive missed activities na sila, at nasabihan nyo na rin naman, i-forward nyo na po sa guidance office para maagapan natin yung completion form, di ba? Hindi matambakan ng completion form. Doon pa lang, kayo nang mag-uusap kung hindi na siya dadating ng finals. Doon pa lang, within that period, prelim pa lang naaayos na yung kanilang mga grades. Wait lang po. Okay. Next. Sige. Habang nag-aantay tayo. Frequent tardiness. Yan. Endorse na rin to. Given na ginawa nyo na po ang lahat, ha? Huwag nyo po kayong mag-endorse sa guidance office pag wala naman po kayong nabigay na solusyon muna as a teacher. So, dahil nga nangyari yan sa loob ng classroom ninyo, dapat po meron din po tayong gagawin sa estudyanteng yun before ninyo i-endorse sa guidance office. Sorry, hindi daw yung TV for wireless. Ito pala. Okay. Hindi daw siya applicable kay Mac. So sad. Okay. Sige, okay lang. Yon. Failing grades. Yan. If you feel, prelim pa lang, ay hindi na nagiging maganda yung performance ni estudyante at sa tingin nyo kailangan na ng counseling, wag na pong antayin mag-midterm, mag-semifinals, tapos bumagsak na ng finals. I-endorse yun na po kung sa tingin ninyo ay kailangan niya po ng counseling. Special exam subjects. Ito naman po, idaan nyo lang po sa amin kasi nagko-collect din po ako ng data, nagko-collect ako ng information dun sa mga reasons behind bakit po nagkakaroon ng delay sa mga special exams. Ay, bakit nagkakaroon ng delay at nagkakaroon na lang sila ng special exams after. So yung paper na yun lang yung tanging endorsement form na makakarating po sa registrar. The rest po ay maiiwan sa guidance office. Shifting to other courses within past college. Yan. So interviewin nyo po muna kasi nga nasa department nyo siya, tapos alamin nyo ang mga reasons bakit siya mag-shift to other departments. In my previous school, no, yung kapatid ko, just wanna share na lang din, no. Yung kapatid ko, mag-shift siya actually ng IT siya, tapos nag-shift siya as advised by the guidance counselor. Kasi chinek nila yung mga minor subjects niya versus yung mga major subjects niya. Yung mga minor subjects niya matataas, like English, literature, mga ganon. So sabi sa kanya ng guidance counselor, hindi ka talaga pang IT, pang human sciences ka. Okay, so may mga estudyante kasi magagaling talaga, pero baka nasa maling course sila. Kaya, para lumabas talaga yung potential nila, magtutulungan po tayong lahat. No, hindi, pasiyan pa rin naman sila eh. Kahit umalis sila ng department ninyo, pasiyan pa rin sila. So ang goal po natin ay matulungan yung bata na mag-shine, kasi later on, magiging problema niya yan kapag nag-apply siya ng trabaho. Naigapang niya nga yung course, pero pagdating sa application, mahihirapan siya kasi hindi talaga siya pang doon. Okay, so kung sa tingin ninyo at na-assess ninyo, no, usually nangyayari ito sa counseling with BSA, nagtatanong ako kay Sir Frank kung ano talaga ang performance ng bata. Kasi kung siya mismo nahihirapan siya at manggagaling naman sa kanyang desisyon, di ba, why not let go talaga ni Sir Frank papuntang BA or papuntang edu? No, kasi dito pa rin naman siya. Ang maganda nun, hindi siya nag-transfer out. Dito pa rin siya. Okay, so, balikan ko lang, no, yung kapatid ko, opo, nag-flourish po siya at nag-excel po siya as a mass comm student sa human sciences. Next is transferring to other schools. Again, no, ang transferring to other schools, dadaan pa rin po sa inyo for a short interview. Ano yung mga tinatanong? No? Siguro tatanungin nyo, ano yung mga tinatanong? Ano yung mga experience mo? Bakit ka mag-shift or bakit ka lilipat? So from there, makikita nyo na rin, ano yung mga rooms for improvement ninyo sa department? Bakit umaalis at lumilipat yung estudyante? So let's just take it as constructive criticism. Na pag lumipat yung estudyante, hindi dahil, yun nga yung sasamaang loob natin sa kanila and all, pero i-take natin yun as a constructive criticism that there's something na hindi nag-work doon sa estudyanteng yun, kaya ayaw niya dito. Okay, gets po natin? So, maganda po talaga, interviewin nyo muna bago nyo ibigay sa akin. Para kayo mismo, malalaman nyo yung problema, masusolusyonan nyo na rin on your own. Next is misconduct. Later on, i-specify ko po itong mga misconduct na ito. Emotional problem. Yan. Emotional problem, i-endorse nyo din po. Family problem. Yan, pag may nag-o-open sa inyo ng family problem, pwede din naman ninyong i-counsel, pero wag nyo pong i-include yung buong department nyo. Kung nag-open po sa inyo, kayo lang po ang kakausapin. Ngayon, pag hindi nyo na alam kung anong ika-counsel sa kanya, i-forward nyo na lang din po sa amin. Pag ito, emotional at saka family problem, I suggest, lahat po ito, kahit kayo ang nag-counsel, i-inform nyo po ako. I-update ko po kasi yung records nung bata. Okay? Which is, private din yun. Hindi rin pwedeng makita ng ibang estudyante at ibang faculty. And then, exit interview. As grade 12 graduates. Saka exit interview din ng, kung may grade 11, kunyari nalilipat. No, yan. I-endorse nyo po lahat yan. At kung meron pa kayong naisip, no, naglagay ako dyan ng others. So yung form po na ito, private po ito. So kung ibibigay nyo po ito sa akin, mas maganda po naka-fold para alam nung bata na yung pinag-usapan ninyo at nakasulat po dun sa papel na yun ay private. Yan. So pag binigay nyo po sa akin, wag pong nakabukas. Naka-fold po yan. Para alam niyang safe yung mga information na sinabi niya sa inyo, papunta po sa akin as a guidance coordinator. Ano yung mga others na specify natin? May mga estudyante kasi tayo dito na um, rape, ganyan. May estudyante tayo ng nabubugbog, yan. Forward nyo po yung mga yan, no, for counseling. Tapos, ganun din, no, what we do with Dr. Alegre before, ine-endorse po talaga namin sa DSWT. Kasi hindi rin naman din namin kayang i-handle ng kami lang na counseling lang. So, maganda po, matulungan natin yung bata regarding doon. Premarital, yan, endorse nyo rin po yan sa atin. Okay, para ma-counsel lang natin. Kasi ayaw naman natin yung graduate na sila ng may laman na yung tiyan, di ba? So, hindi ko naman sinasabing room for discrimination. But also, we want the best for our students. Kaya nga nandito po ang guidance and counseling department para po maiwasan natin yung mga ganong graduates natin sa past college. Yan. So, yung bagong form po natin, may iniba lang ako. So, sa taas po, para mas madaling i-record, sa taas, meron ng semester at saka academic year, pa-include na lang po. Yung date, same pa din siya, pero nilagay ko lang doon, I am endorsing Mr. and Miss, yung name niya. So, kayo po ang mag-fill out nito. Kasi, ibig sabihin, nakausap nyo. So, ano nga ba pangalan mo? Sinusulat nyo na. Ano, ilang taon ka na? Yan. So, magkakaroon ng conversation between you and the student. Currently enrolled as, whose address is at or in, with birth date, and for the purpose of guidance and counseling sessions regarding, ito na yung mga yun. Yan. I-check nyo lang po. And then, isa-sign po dapat ng student. Ibig sabihin, yung mga dinisclose niyang information ay dinisclose niya sa inyo ng hindi siya napilitan. So, ipapasign nyo doon. Ibig sabihin siya yung lumapit sa inyo. Okay? Okay, question. Paano po pag meron kaming na-observe na estudyante pero hindi siya nag-disclose ng information sa amin? Na-observe nyo lang. Ano po ang gagawin ninyo? Kunyari lang. Meron tayong estudyante na kapitbahay nyo. Tapos naririnig nyo, kunyari, binubugbog, ganon. Pero ayaw niyang ipasabi. Paano po magiging approach natin doon? Hindi ko rin alam, Sir Rob. Kaya po nagtatanong. Yes, Doc.
Although, alam mo na may problema siya, hindi po pwedeng tawagin siya at tanungin na may problema siya. Parang ganun yung naalala ko noon sa na kailangan we really have to wait for the child or for the student to come. Parang ganun. Parang ako noon, kasi ganun din nag-guidance ako, pero although alam nila na kailangan, hinintay nila. Until such time na nagkusa ako na ako ang pupunta, kakausap, kasi parang bawal nga siya sa not unless siguro you do it in a way na hindi obvious, parang gano'n na wala ka ding alam, pero hindi mo siya directly tatanungin na bakit may problema, parang usap-usap lang in a way na until such time na magre-reveal yung bata, na hindi niya nahahalata na you are doing something na alam mo. Pwede yun. Parang mag-friend ka sa kanya, tapos usap-usap kayo, parang zero knowledge ka doon. Tapos baka pag nakuha mo yung loob niya, then that will be the time na siya. And syempre sa counseling talaga kasi yung emotion, iset natin. Yung mood, parang ganun. Kaya dapat talagang yung kwarto, yung sabi mo na confidential, tapos guidance, yung counseling nga, bawal nga daw counsel We don't suggest. Sa guidance lang, we ask them questions, guide questions, they will be the one to decide for themselves. Ang counseling is parang against siya sa We don't counsel kasi if you give an advice, it might only conflict. Baka pag nag-advise ka at hindi capable yung bata na mag-process, mas lalo siyang malilito. So parang tanungin mo lang siya, sa palagay mo, ano ang dapat mong gawin? Yung mga tanong niya, ibalik mo sa kanya, siya ang magdi-decide. Kaya nga sinabing guidance, we facilitate. Ganun.
Yes, Doc, that's right po. Okay, yan po din po ang tinuro sa amin sa masteral class namin. We don't really give advice, but we let the student decide. But at this point po kasi, I'm also a pastor, so opo, I cannot just let go yung estudyante. Like for example, nandun na siya, no? Ang ginagawa ko po is I share, no, yung point of view ng Bible para siya mismo makita niya mayroon siyang basis ng truth. Tama po ba? So may basis siya ng truth, nagsishare po ako sa kanya nung biblical truth kasi as we all know, the Word of God is the final authority. So tama po si Doc Celeste doon, no? So yun din po ang natutunan namin sa master's class. Hindi po tayo nagbibigay ng advice. Okay? We ask them to draw out the right decisions to do. Kasi sila mismo, alam naman nila kung anong tamang gawin. And ito-draw out lang natin yun at i-guide natin papunta dun sa decision na yun. Yes, Sir Rob.
Under rules of intervention, however, prescribed by CHED, I'm not familiar with the Dept. We attended this conference kasi with Attorney Ulan Sarmiento. If there are things that are indicative of a crime committed, what are these? Bruises na on unusual places. It can also be somehow direct or indirect admission from a child na there is an abuse ongoing sa home. Required ang school na mag-intervene. Intervene, but let me clarify what is intervene. To report it to the proper hierarchy of authorities. So what are these? Number one, if the parents are not involved, they're the priority. Tatawagin ka agad sila. Of course, we would observe yung internal protocols natin. If you're the teacher, report it to the guidance will create a report finding, siguro mag-create siya ng initial investigation niya. And if there's strong evidence of abuse at home, gawa siya ng summary where we can invite the parents and discuss with the students ano yung mga ito. If ang involved naman is the parents, then that is the time na I guess papasok yon. It would be up to the student if we would try our best to elicit kung ano yung plano niya. But an exempting rule again was mentioned by Attorney Ulan na if talagang very clear, ano yung mga very clear indicators, inaamin niya openly, but does not want to confront the students, we can guide the students to the proper authorities or what are the proper remedies niya in order to protect him or herself. So I'm just inserting this because these are very sensitive cases or situations where as a faculty member, in fact, as a member of any society, we see it fit na to intervene in cases where harm is being done to another person. Another situation is when na-exempted talaga tayong, of course, na it does not depend on the student or even on the parents if ito yung case na ng bullying. Bullying in such a case na there are physical bullying kasi. Talagang nahuli natin, papasok na doon yung disciplinary action natin. So wag nating imi-mistake doon na nakikita natin siya may mga bruises, alam natin somehow from within the class na parang binugbog siya, hindi natin aantayin yung bata na, okay, it's up to you na if you want help or not. if there are signs of talagang physical bullying, whether inside or ang nambugbog sa kanya is sa labas, kailangan i-report din kaagad natin immediately to. Malinaw po ba?
Kunwari may problem, ganon.
Oo.
Yung emotional problem,
Correct.
problem sa boyfriend, ganon. Yun po yung hindi natin siguro
Yeah.
pwedeng pakialaman. Pero yung sabi ni Sir, syempre pag may bruise siya, kasi we are also accountable eh. Yung
Yes.
accountability natin to the children, lalo na nakita mo eh, accomplish para bang ano ka na doon eh, what did you do? Kasi physical ano na siya, nakita mo na yung evidences. So we have to do something on that, sir. Yung parang ganon. Yung,
So, to categorize it, siguro may mga gravities where the guidance can siguro make a very clear distinction ano yung dapat immediate nilang nire-report. Ang alam kong very clear under CHED guidelines are indications of any crime committed. These are rape, tapos yung talagang physical abuse. Actually, in-include na ang emotional and psychological abuse under violence against women and children. Take note, let me just correct the misconception on VAUSI law. Hindi lang ito pang asawa. Basta any woman, whether married or not, kasi women and children nga eh. Saklaw nun, covered tayo na i-report po yan. Malinaw po. Siguro another clarification, maybe the guidance can provide, yung indicators of suicidal tendencies. Like nakikita nyo may laslas, what's the proper way na we can quantify? For me, it's not a new case, but report immediately. Pag nakikita nyo may mga kakaiba na siyang sugat sa wrist, or there are talks na kino-contemplate niya. Actually, in the suicide hotline ng Philippines, social media posts can be grounds for you to elevate matters immediately to the guidance. I believe the guidance will discuss more on this siguro. For us to have a sensitivity training kung how we can intervene.
Going back po dun sa isang question ko kanina, no? Correct me if I'm wrong, Sir Rob. Di ba po, yung question ko kanina is kapitbahay ninyo. So, not actually, you will report that not as a teacher, but as a concerned citizen. Tama po ba, Sir Rob? So, yun. So, we're not just a concerned citizen or concerned teacher inside the school, but also we carry that outside, no, as a concerned citizen, as a concerned neighbor. Yan. So, i-report po agad yun. Huwag na po nating antayin na, ay sige, kausapin ko na lang siya sa school bukas. Okay, so urgent na kasi yun eh. Naririnig nyo na, sumisigaw na, binubugbog na. We have to report it at once, especially that is one of our students. So remember, di ba, we are second parents. So as if parang anak mo yung pinapalo, binubugbog, wala ka pa bang gagawin, antayin mo pa yung bukas. Siyempre hindi. So that kind of concern that we hold for our students. And then, going back din po no, dun sa emotional problem. Yan. Pag may nakikita na po kayo ng mga estudyante na yung behavior nila ay kakaiba. Yun. So, as a teacher, ma-observe nyo naman lahat ng estudyante ninyo. No? So, pag medyo kakaiba na yung behavior nila, like, for example, nananakit, yung mga ganyan. Walang imik, yan, lalo na yon. Extreme. Masyadong maingay, yan. I-call niyo po yung attention, pero parang kulang siya sa pansin. Ganon. So, kailangan na po ng counseling ng mga yun kasi there's something going on inside of them. Masyadong tahimik, hindi mo mapa-recite. Okay? And yun nga eh, before mo siya dalhin, the word kamusta goes a long way. So before po nyo palabasin, no, maiwan ka, no, I do this, kahit hindi pa ako yung guidance coordinator, when I observe someone in my class na ganun masyadong tahimik, nakayuko lang, pinapaiwan ko siya, tatanungin ko siya, uy, kamusta? parang tahimik ka ngayon. Parang tahimik ka mula nung pumasok ka. Okay, so kamusta goes a long way. So let's just give them time, no, sa kanilang pagsagot. Okay, yun lang po. Family problem, how do we detect this? Actually, hindi po talaga siya na-detect unless si student ay mag-open up po sa inyo. Pero kaya nga maganda, dito pa lang frequent absences, frequent tardiness, frequent missed activities, doon minsan napapalabas na namin sa guidance office na merong nangyayari. No, actually completion form, yung nabanggit ko nga ito kay Ma'am Plinky, pinakiusap ko talaga kasi malapit nang mag-fall sa depression yung bata. Yan. So, completion form pa lang, no? Kaya nga, nakiusap din ako kay Ma'am Plinky na idaan lahat yung mga for completion because there is a reason behind why these students are delayed sa kanilang paggawa ng mga activities nila. Okay, given na yung minsan tinamad sila, pero still, no, that is also a ground for counseling. Bakit ka tinamad? Anong pinagkakabalahan mo? So, i-guide mo nga ulit sila. Ano ba yung purpose mo pag estudyante ka? Games ba? Okay, so makikita mo doon. Maiga-guide na namin sila. So maganda rin, tanungin nyo rin yung mga estudyante ninyo dun sa mga delayed activities nila, bakit ganun ang nangyayari. And then yun nga, shifting to other courses, might as well, meron silang personal reason, maybe against, meron na nangyari na to, against a faculty. No, lumipat siya ng school kasi meron siyang something against the faculty. Okay, so which they do not admit at once. Kaya nga, it's the guidance counselor, since hindi siya involved sa loob ng classroom, i-endorse niyo siya sa amin para makausap namin. Yun. So, everything po na nakalagay dyan, lahat po yan ay mayroong reason behind. No? Kaya nga importante yung word na bakit or kamusta. Okay? Yung pagka sabi nyo ng kamusta, sundan nyo agad ng bakit. Okay, yan. Kasi alam ko na ang sagot na wala lang ay hindi yun dapat nile-let go. Kasi ibig sabihin ng wala lang ay meron. Okay? So, okay po ba tayo doon? Pag sinabing wala lang, gusto ko lang. Okay? Pag sinabi ng ganun ng estudyante, ibig sabihin meron siyang deeper reason na ayaw niyang i-reveal sa inyo. Kaya mas magandang makausap natin siya. Do you have any questions or clarifications or additional, no, na something? Or may experience kayo, you want to share it with us para alam din namin kung anong gagawin in the future. Meron po ba? Yes, sir. Ayun. Hindi po. Ang dami kasi nila. Sorry, sir. Huwag na natin iisalbas yung pangalan. Ipaalala mo nga, sir, ano nga ba yung problema na yun?
In-endorse ko sa yung estudyante na sinabi ko sa kanya na kausapin ka. Pero sabi ng estudyante, huwag na sir, nakakahiya. Sabi, kaya ko pa to, sabi niya. Kasi meron siyang problem sa family. Ayun.
Yes.
Kaya hindi siya sumasagot sa mga pinapagawa ko. Yun.
Okay.
Parang gusto na niya umalis, pero tinuloy pa rin niya.
Napabalik niyo naman na.
Napabalik niyo. Sinagutan naman niya, pero nasa finals na.
Ano po?
Ayan. Yung mga nasa finals na niya inayos lahat yung mga pinagawa ko.
Ayan, oh. Good job si
Pero
Sir
may
Vic
problema.
doon. Oo, kasi ngayon nga ang goal natin na wala nang makarating na incomplete sa sa grading sheet natin, which is ako din marami akong incomplete kasi itong pandemic mahirap talaga, ang hirap nilang hagilapin. Ewan ko lang kung ako lang nahirapan o kayo rin. Ang hirap, hindi nagre-reply. Madali kasi mag-ignore ngayon, di ba? Mag-seen ka lang, ignored ka na eh. Tawagan mo, di mo lang sagutan. Ignored na agad yon. So, mahirap talaga ngayon. So, imagine, lahat yung mga yan ay babalik ngayon. So, mag-ready tayo. Mag-ready tayo ng sarili natin kasi lumutang ngayon kung ano ang totoong outlook ng isang estudyante sa kanilang pag-aaral. So, mabibilang siguro lang sa kamay yung talagang maaral at kayang mag-aral ng online lang. The rest, kailangan i-follow up, kailangan i-mention, kailangan i-contact, babalik lang lahat yung mga yan ngayon, ngayong pasukan. So sila po yung mga harapin natin. Yes, Ma'am Joan.
Thank you. In addition, I just want to go back doon sa nabanggit kanina, yung I think concerns regarding mga depression ng mga students. Tama ba? Or comment ni CRM kanina. I'd like to emphasize for us to be really observant sa mga faculty kasi kayo yung talagang nakakakita kung ano yung facial expression, ano yung siguro behaviors ng student nyo. Okay? Especially to yung mga new staff natin. No, I know that some of you, this would be your first time teaching. So, hindi na kayo students ngayon, but you are faculty. Okay, so you're already considered, a young professional. And it's expected, ini-expect kasi ng mga students natin na kayo yung parang, in a sense, guidance, no? Nila. So, we had an instance kasi na, I just want to share real quick, no? A couple of minutes, na meron yung isang part-time instructor natin and may na-witness kasi siya doon sa isang bata na naging parang suicidal siya. So naagapan agad just because may mga napansin, telltale signs na depressed yung bata. And this was something unexpected. Ito yung magla-lunch break kami ni CRMM and yun, tumawag agad at tumakbo agad yung parent. So it's very important for us to make sure that we are also sensitive sa mga students, but impose corrective measures as well and always send them sa guidance kung mga kailangan i-address agad. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am JBM on that. Okay, I'll just give you a quick, dun sa mga kailangan nating observe sa mga estudyante natin. On peace and order, playing pranks, putting feet on chairs, ma-observe nyo itong mga to, tables, walls, shouting and creating noise inside the classroom. Sanctionable po yan, actually, yung mga, that kind of behavior. Violation and refusing to identify the offender despite having witnessed the violation, sanctionable din po yan. So may witness pero ayaw magsalita or friend niya kasi ganito, ayaw niyang isumbong, so pati siya sanctionable. Okay? Acts that prevent, coerce, force, or intimidate others from entering the school premise or attending classes or other school functions. So sanctionable din po yan. Assaulting players or officials of other schools. Okay, like for example, nag-post sila sa Facebook against, sa school, kunyari, naglaro sila ng, ano ba yung Presaa ba yun? Kasama yung ibang school. Ayan, so nagpo-post sila ng mga negative comments against sa mga nakakalaban nila and so on and so forth. Okay, lahat po yan ay sanctionable din. Possessions or use of deadly weapons, meron na po tayong naging estudyanteng ganito, nakapasok na. Okay, so na-sanction din siya. Instigating or engaging in activities resulting to damage to campus or school facilities, meron na rin po ito. Ang involved dito yung isang utility man natin, kinorek lang siya kasi sila pati rin naman sila, they are responsible. Chine-check nila, you're not wearing your proper ID. So inaway niya, minura niya yung isang natin utility, tapos bumaba siya. Sabi niya, re-report kita sa guidance. Tapos dinadala sa guidance, bumaba, pumunta doon, sinipa yung mga basurahan, ganon. So, yun. I-report niyo po yung mga nakikita kayong na-observe na ganito, lalo na kapag nasa loob ng classroom ninyo. Physical assault, creating noise or disruption during the class. Again, kapag it happens inside your class, it's your responsibility na sabihan yung estudyante, i-warn sila. Pero pag hindi pa rin nakinig, yun pa, i-forward nyo na po sa guidance office. Entering the school premises under the influence of liquor, bringing alcoholic drinks or any other intoxicating beverages. So I hope hindi po tayo kasama sa kainuman ng mga estudyante. Okay, so tayo po yung nanghuhuli, nang umiinom. Hindi po natin sila sasamahan, uminom. May tanong po ako. Paano po pag-graduate na? Sir Rob? Pwede bang makipag-inuman ang faculty? Pag-graduate na yung dating estudyante niya?
Here's the thing. As long as you're a member of this institution, you're governed by the standards on character, behavior, and attitude that is required as a faculty member of this institution. So, there's this right, inherent right of the school where it can, being a, what do you call this, a juridical entity. It reserves its right to protect its image, its ability to ensure that the goodwill it has established over the years will not be tarnished. So like for example, the nature nung pupuntahan nyo would somehow compromise yung image not only of the school but you yourself, which you are an image you carry the image of the school as well. The disciplinary action will be extended to the faculty. And there are actually jurisprudences on this. Meron pa nga yung isang instance, take note. Yung pinaka-high profile na case is yung case ni Erap. If you're familiar with that. He was involved in plunder. Hindi nga yan inuman eh. It's just basically him signing off on some things. These are signatures, transactional documents. Yet the school extended their disciplinary action insofar as ni-reach nila doon sa case wherein he is no longer a member of the institution. Malinaw po. Kaya nga actually, kakaiba ang profession na teacher. You're actually set apart. You're the only profession given by law where you stand as a secondary parent. That is a very special na, hindi naman privilege, it's a very special authority granted sa inyo. You have the power to influence. You have the power to basically have a higher moral ascendancy irrespective of your age. Meaning kahit mas nakakatanda yung estudyante nyo, iba pa rin ang pananaw ng student if they see these things sa inyo. Kaya be very careful in how we should conduct ourselves outside of the institution. Ang measure dyan is ganito. Simple tests such as, would attending this event somehow set the bad example? Being a parent, yun ang mindset parati eh. Pag nakita nyo kaagad na medyo red flag siya, in fact, ang sabi nga doon na standard is, even if it borders only gray area, it would be safer, wag na. Gray area na nga eh, meaning nakikita nyo there's already a hint na parang alanganin to . Let me give you a very safe way to gauge it. Example, you are a male faculty. You're invited by the parents ng isang female to have to attend a party. Drinks will be served doon, alcohol drinks. And then pag-inquire mo is that you're the only faculty who will be present there. There are gray areas there. In fact, you can respectfully decline to the parent and tell na kahit na yung parent ang nagpupumilit, I'm sorry, it might compromise my position as a teacher. O dina-preserve mo pa yung profession mo being a faculty. Malinaw po. If you're unsure, the HR is very open to discuss such matters if ever it comes to that na you want to determine kung ito ba ay makakapag-compromise sa aking profession, send the HR a message para at least ma-clarify natin.
Thank you so much po, Sir Rob. Next naman po on honesty naman. So any form of cheating No, given 3 warnings, hindi pa rin nakinig, yun po, pwede nyo na pong endorse. Use of unauthorized paper than the test booklet. No, given, kapag mga examination po kasi hindi ata nabanggit ni ma'am na merong exam booklet lang. Tama po ba? Gagamitin pa rin natin yan. May exam booklet lang na ibibigay ang past college. Yun lang po ang gagamitin nila. Unless it is instructed na sa test paper sila magsasagot. Pwede po ba yun, ma'am? Ilinaw na natin ngayon. O test booklet talaga. Okay, test booklet po talaga ang kanilang gagamitin for physical examination. Giving false information, dishonesty during examination, giving fake medical certificates and or excuse letters to school authorities. No? So makikita naman natin kung excusable yung excuse niya. Okay, no? Sabi niya, namatay yung lolo niya, pero kinabukasan kasama naman niya sa bayan. So, akala, condolence po pala, gano'n. Yung pala yung lolo niya, sinabi niya namatay kasama niya. So, theft of school or personal property or attempt pa lang. So, sanctionable na po yan. Writing notes, nasabi na po ito ni Sir Ivan, di ko na po ito ulitin. Unauthorized collection or solicitation of money from any student, faculty member, personal, or administrator. Yung mga estudyante nating, piso mo nga, 5 mo nga, uy, sanctionable yan. Okay, bawal ang tawag doon, kotong ba yun? Kotong na po ba yun? Oh, bawal. Forging, alteration, or falsification, or misuse of school and public documents, and securing or using such documents is prohibited. Of course, on morality naman tayo, public display of intimate gestures of affection, PDA? Mga PDA po ay bawal po sa school. Ayan. So hindi po natin tinotolerate yung entering into a relationship ng estudyante pa. No, kasi nga marami tayong pwedeng maagapan doon. So might as well you help us with that, no, since nasa naman natin siya, manual natin siya. Delivery of an offensively lewd or indecent speech, whether inside or outside the school premises. So yung mga post nila, nagre-report sila inside the classroom, tas may mga nabanggit sila na alam niyo namang medyo off. Yan. Possessions of pornographic materials, yan, nagdadala sila or nasa cellphone nila, nahuli ninyo, yan po ay sanctionable din po yan. Gambling, yan. Naglalaro, tas may bayad. may anong tag doon? Ano po yun? Pusta, ayan, pustahan. Yan, bawal din po yan sa atin. Next is on respect and courtesy naman in subordination against all school authorities. Kahit po utility yan or guard, yan, pag may insubordination po ang estudyante, bawal po yan. Okay? Basta po nag-work dito sa atin, disrespectful sila towards our janitors, towards our sasabihan nyo po sila pag ganon. Slandering, degrading statements against a student, school authority, faculty and staff, or past college, whether inside or outside the school premises. Sending malicious messages, including broadcasting and email messages. Text messaging during class hours, nasabi na po yan kanina, no cell phones inside the class. And so on and so forth. So yun lang po, na-discuss na po ni Sir Ivan yung school properties kanina, so hindi ko na po i-discuss yun. So do you have any questions po? None? Regarding on that, wala po? Okay. Lastly, counseling is like, bakit may iba? Okay, sorry po, typo. Counseling is like pulling a file from the filing cabinet and putting it back after. Okay, so nakaka-drain at nakakaubos po ng energy ang counseling, especially during this, ang daming exit interview, na madadala ka, nag-iiyakan, tapos yung isa may sakit, tapos yung isang darating galit. Pati ikaw parang, saglit lang. Okay, saglit lang, bigyan nyo muna ako ng, kaya minsan, sinasabi mo sa kanila, may counseling, marami ka ng kliyente, wait lang, hihinga lang ako. Kasi pag iba-iba yung cases, tas dire-diretso sila, parang ako din mababaliw, di ba? So, iba-iba yung dalang emotion. So, ito yung advice ng aking pastor, no? Kasi nga, nagka-counsel din kami ng mga disciples sa church. So, counseling is like pulling a file from a filing cabinet. Kung ano lang yung kailangan mo, Yun lang din ang kukunin mo. And then after that, ibalik mo. Ibig sabihin mo siyang dadalhin. Like kayo, di ba, kunyari, nag-counsel kayo ng estudyante, may pinagalitan kayo sa loob ng classroom, and so, tapos kinausap ninyo, sumagot-sagot sa inyo, i-end nyo na doon sa classroom, huwag nyo nang dadalhin doon sa office table ninyo para hindi maapektuhan yung iba. Yan. Actually, mahirap po siya, mabigat siya. Minsan, ano matag doon? Provoke ka. No, na pagalitan, tinasan ka ng boses, minsan nakaka-degrade pa, yun, no, dadalhin nila yung parents nila, tapos duduru-duruin ka lang ng parents, and, yun po, so wag nating, yun, ibalik natin yung file nila sa cabinet after po silang makausap para hindi po natin madala yun sa ibang tao. Yun lang po. Other services, sorry, last, of course, the Not Alone program is the service offered by the guidance and counseling, which is outsourced na po ito. The counselors included for the Not Alone are professionals. No, some of them are pastors, some of them are accountants, practicing po talaga, professionals po talaga sila. So those I cannot handle, sila po ang tinatanong ko to handle, especially kung forte nila yung bagay na yon. So it's a blessing that we are also partnered with Destiny Church because they are extending their counseling sa mga estudyante natin for free. Yan. So tinutulungan din po nila tayo. So yung other services offered din po, yung mga facilitators as well, yung mga tao na behind the Not Alone program. So Not Alone program is a program offered by the guidance office which addresses all other issues of the students. So yun lang po. So I advise din, no, kapag meron na pong running na rin po ang Not Alone program natin, para mabawasan po ang trabaho ninyo, i-encourage niyo po silang sumama ng Not Alone program para doon pa lang may part na doon na natitibag na, may part na rin doon na nabibuild na sa loob nila. So yun lang po. Thank you very much, and that ends our orientation for the guidance. Sorry, but I have to disinfect this, ma'am, before you use it.
So, any clarifications under the guidance office? Wala na po. So, kung okay na po tayo sa guidance office, let's proceed to our next presenter sa HR department. So yung mga nasi CR po dyan, mag-CR na po para dire-diretso po yung sa HR department po.
Let me just add some notes that I remembered in one of the conferences that we attended. It says here, on the constitutional basis of a school's duty to impose disciplinary actions. Actually, nasa Constitution pala natin yan. Under Article 14, Section 3, it states there that all educational institutions shall teach the rights and duties of citizenship, strengthen ethical and spiritual values, develop moral and personal discipline. So this is just an added information. So because of this, it was derived in a particular case under MCFA versus the Court of Appeals. The school not only has the right, but the duty to develop discipline in its students, because no less than the Constitution imposes such duty. This is also embodied in our MRPS and MORFE, where we have the authority to maintain school discipline and mandates us that we must discipline our students and extend duty to discipline students irrespective if it is inside or outside the campus. Who are duty-bound to discipline the students? The Supreme Court declared that all school personnel in all levels, actually ito yung natatandaan ko na kahit na janitor, they can impose discipline in the students ng isang eskwelahan. There's also a jurisprudence here in PSBC versus Court of Appeals where a faculty neglected the opportunity to discipline or call the attention of a student. It was found out that the faculty and the school was found guilty of neglect of duty. Okay.
So yung ibang hindi pa naka-bathroom break, you can go ahead and siguro use the bathroom. And while you're using the bathroom, Ma'am Casey can pass out the handouts. Okay, so CR break tayo, yung sa iba. Okay, so I think andito na rin lahat. Andito na ba lahat, Ma'am Joan? Okay. Okay. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So thank you, Ma'am G, for that wonderful discussion. And it was actually a fun discussion as well, no? Sa icebreaker natin. So don't be judgmental pala, no? Okay, Chloe, na principal's office ka pala noon. Okay. Ha? Nagpagpag ka ng kakasi mo? Oh, I think ako rin. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Anyway. Okay, so... All right, so is everyone ready? Nakapag-stretch na ba? Do you want to stretch? Okay na? Coffee? Okay. CR break? We're good? Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So I'm very excited to see each and every one of you. Okay? And, you know, the whole day today, I hope that you've learned a lot. You know, Past College is really committed to making sure that indeed we provide excellent service sa mga estudyante natin. Not only that, pero sa mga instructors natin. Hence, yung mga heads recently, sila Sir Frank, Ma'am Dr. Esmenia, Ma'am Marjo, Ma'am Angel, you know, we got together to really make sure that we pay attention to the specific topics and trainings that we are going to be covering for the rest of the week. Okay? So I'm really excited to see what's ahead for you this academic year. I'm also excited for the new members here. Excited ba kayo? Yung iba kinakabahan? Yes. Yung iba, no? Mga bago. Okay, don't worry. As long as you attach yourself with the right mentors and also the right people, you'll do fine, even if it's your first time, okay? That's why we have this training, okay? I'd like to welcome you here in Past College. Can you give them a round of applause? Welcome. And also, I'd like to thank the existing team members here at Past College. Thank you for your continued service. Thank you for your commitment in providing quality education for Past College. And we are looking for a collaborative and dynamic working relationship dito sa Past College. Okay? So today I'll be discussing some of the concerns of the HR department as well as some of the code of behaviors. Now, I won't be able to tackle all of it, otherwise it's going to be a lengthy discussion and 1 hour is not enough. Okay, so I'm just going to be running by quickly with regards to the COBs. Okay, we all know that we're covered by the Code of Ethics of Teachers and as well as your specific profession, like for example, si BSA, si Sir Frank. Of course, he's also covered by the Code of Ethics ng accountancy, yung profession nila, no? May PRC Code of Ethics sila. Okay, at the same time, you're also governed by specific memos, specific policies, code of behaviors. So we have to make sure na hindi lang yung, okay, ito lang ang specific guideline ko or ito lang yung job description ko, ito lang trabaho. Hindi. We are covered by specific rules and regulation, not only by law, but also in this private institution. Okay? So, moving forward, when you are in the academe, you have the fiduciary responsibility. Does anyone know what fiduciary is? Or any keyword kung ano yung fiduciary? Anyone? Huh? Huh? Okay. Anyone else? So actually, when we talk about fiduciary, we have this level of trust that is entrusted sa atin. Okay? Now, we have to make sure, okay, the reason why I want to be able to discuss this is because I want to be able to make sure that each and every one of us are aware kung ano ba tayo dito sa Past College. Ano ba yung, sorry, nag-advance ba ako? Na-click ko ba? Okay, sorry about that. Okay. I want to be able to make sure that alam natin kung what is Past College is all about. Okay, we have to be brand conscious. We carry the name of Past College. Hence, I'll be discussing in a little bit what are specific codes and behavior Okay. So anyway, I want to be able to discuss this because we want to make sure na aligned tayo. Kung ano yung mga mission and vision natin sa past college, lahat tayo, whether old or new, we're aligned. Okay? So moving forward, let me introduce to you the staff of HR, the HR department. Of course, we have Ma'am Casey, who's the HR clerk. Ma'am Casey, could you stand to be recognized? Okay, Ma'am Casey. Mga, sexy silang dalawa, no? And Ma'am Marjo too, sorry. Okay. Casey is a product of past college. She graduated in the business administration department. And of course, may background din siya sa HR, may mga subjects sa HR department din, no? So, I'm happy to have her on board. Okay. We also have Miss Joan Jet Osorio. Dalawa kaming Joan. Yung sexy na Joan. Okay. So, Miss Joan Jet Osorio is a graduate of GPC. Took up secondary education major in mathematics. She was also a part-time instructor at Pass College and was also moved to the HR department, okay? And she will be taking her exam this September. She's also currently taking her master's, and right now, nag-break muna siya because she's preparing to take her LET exam, okay? So thank you very much for that. So moving forward, I'd like to tell you the background of Pass College. So, if you see this lady here, her name is Adelina M. Morante, or we call her AMM. Okay, Adelina M. Morante. Okay, she is the founder of Pass College. Her background is, well, she's from Malasike. Okay, and during high school, she had the opportunity to go to a foreign exchange program in Oregon. Okay, so she stayed there for quite some time. And of course, she knew the life there in Oregon, kahit na saglit lang yan as a foreign exchange student. Okay, she graduated in UST, I think AB Sociology. And she became a teacher. Later on, she became a businesswoman, woman. And later on, she took up accounting, and of course, pumasa siya. She became a certified public accountant, and she took her master's in education. Tama ba? Na-correct na ba? Yes. So, master's in education siya. So, si Ma'am AMM, okay, just for those people who don't know, she's the founder, anak po niya si CRMM, or Christian Rubens M. Morante. Okay, who's my better half. So she's my mother-in-law, okay? And so Ma'am AMM put up a business, which is CLI Finance. It's our sister company. And during the course of growing CLI Finance, she was able to establish certain branches in different parts of the Philippines. I think, is it north? Sorry ha, hindi ako marunong sa geography ng Philippines. Sa Apari, CRMM? Apari, Santiago, meron din dito sa Alaminos, Dagupan, meron at one point din sa Baguio. So while she was growing her business, she also established a branch here in Dagupan. And during that time that she was going back and forth, and you know, that time, hindi gaano maganda yung roads sa Dagupan. So, you know, during putting up the building, naisip niya na how nice it would be to be able to give back to the community. Okay? And so therefore, she put up Pass College, right? Because she wanted to provide a quality education for those who are not privileged to go to Manila like she was, or maybe even in Dagupan, wherein, you know, the roads back then wasn't that good, okay? So she wanted to provide, like when I spoke to her before, it's quality education right at your doorstep, okay? And so in 1997, Pass College was put up as Philippine Accountancy Science School. And later on in 2011, it was named as Pass College. So na-shorten siya. So Pass College stands for Philippine Accountancy Science School. And initially, the programs that were offered was, of course, BSA, okay? Parang ano natin yan, flagship natin until now, okay? Accountancy, we also had and have Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, BS Commerce, and we also had, at one point had BS Secretarial Education. Is that right? CRMM? Secretarial Education. Okay? Familiar kayo dun, ma'am? BS Secretarial Education. So wala na yun. Noon yun, okay? And then later on, we also had specific programs like business administration, nag-add din tayo ng education, nag-add din tayo ng caregiver, pero of course wala na yung caregiver course natin ngayon. HMTM, Hotel and Restaurant Management noon, now called Hotel Management and also Tourism Management. Okay? So Past College has always believed in quality over quantity. Tama po ba, mga heads? Okay, Sir Frank, tama. Plinky, right? Sir Vic, why? Bakit tayo quality over quantity? Yung graded recitation? Maybe, can I hear from the department ng registrar? Or OIC, bakit quality over quantity tayo? Anyone?
Para sa akin po kasi, kumbaga dito po sa Alaminos, within Western Pangasinan, isa po kasi ang Past College sa best na school na nag-offer. Hindi lang po yun dahil dito sa hindi lang po dahil kami ang nagsasabi. So kagaya po nung last visit po ng BOA natin sa PRC, sila na rin po mismo nagsabi na Past College is one of the best schools in Western Pangasinan. So yun po yung masasabi ko po na mas mag-offer tayo ng quality over quantity. Pero syempre maganda pa rin kung marami yung quality. Ay, yung ibig sabihin yung marami yung quantity po. Ayan po.
Thank you, Ma'am Plinky. But of course, when we talk about quantity, we also want to discuss then talk about yung population natin. Okay, I'll talk about that more. But the reason why also, in addition to sinabi ni Ma'am Plinky, no, we have a lot of comments from government institutions, case in point, BOA, nang pumunta sila dito, and how they talk much about our program, especially accountancy program, okay? Just because we have a lot of graduates, makikita nyo how strict we are in terms of our quality education. Mag-enroll sila sa accountancy, mag-enroll sila sa mga ibang programs, but makikita nyo sa accountancy program natin, nagda-drop yung pag dumating na sila sa 4th year. Kasi pag hindi nila talaga kayang ipasa, hindi sila papasa. Okay? Not because we want na magkapag-graduate na sila. Not only that, okay? I think we were also offered before, if I remember correctly, specific scholarship para meron tayong scholarship dito na magagamit. However, one of the things there that was told sa akin noon, no, because I wasn't here yet, was that basta, in a sense, may ghost student tayo. So that could have been beneficial sa past in terms of financial, right, resource. But hindi tayo pumayag. Okay, so yun, we're upholding our integrity. Okay, and also yung quality, yun, kasama din yun sa quality education. Next is sa mga transcripts, tama po ba? One time, nasabi din noon sa mga administrators na isang registrar, sinabi dito sa Past College, ang ginagawa ko kasi sa school namin, where she works, is that parang binabayaran na lang mga estudyante. So meaning they can attend their classes, but, they can pay for their transcripts, pero hindi na sila mag-a-attend ng classes. So, yeah, you would say, okay, sige, okay lang kasi that's income coming in towards Past College. But then again, asan ang integrity natin? Okay, so quality over quantity. And also, may nabanggit din si Ma'am Plinky noon, no? Before na meron yung parang nagpapahint na isang guest ata noon na parang, ano yun, ma'am? Hindi na siya papasok. So indirectly, you have to be careful when they use this term, ma'am, paano po yan mag-enroll pero hindi na ako magpapasok? Okay, so we're really here for the quality education. Okay? Not quantity. Okay? So nakikita na natin na we provide, okay, the best education here in Western Pangasinan. Case in point, I think maybe some of you, if they're from sa mga ibang school, nagta-transfer out sila from Past College kung hindi nila kayang accountancy program. Tapos pagdating nila dun sa isang school, yung exams nila sa accountancy ay parang quiz lang ang nangyayari doon sa isang school. So ganun tayo talaga ka-strict in terms of our quality education. Okay? And we provide the best And I do believe that if you've looked at our Facebook profiles, you see the tarps outside and even in the past, it's evidenced by our achievements. It's evidenced by how many teachers that we produce. It's evidenced by how many CPAs that we produced. Okay, it's evidenced by the fact that we have students who placed in the nationals recently, even if it's pandemic. Okay? So now allow me to discuss with you the mission and vision of Pass College. Hindi ko mabasa dito. Okay. Can I move this forward a little bit, Joan? Okay, so the vision and mission of Pass College. Pass College envisions itself as the premier institution of higher learning committed to providing students with a well-rounded education that will serve as their passport to success in life. So when we talk about premier institution, okay, na-envision natin, and dapat kayo din na-envision nyo, okay, as your role as an educator, that Pass College is going to be a premier institution. Meaning to say, when you say premier, ano ba yung premier? Ito yung talagang first choice. Ito yung preferred. Okay, not only in Western not only in Western Pangasinan, okay, but it could be Pangasinan or even in the entire Philippines. Okay? So yan ang ini-envision natin. Right now, we're not there yet kasi may mga malalaking schools sa Dagupan, sa Baguio. But here, I firmly believe na we are the best dito sa Western Pangasinan. Even dun sa mga ibang tao sa Infanta, dito sila nag-enroll. Okay? So in-envision natin na we are the premier institution of higher learning. Okay? Committed to providing students with a well-rounded education that will serve as their passport to success. So, paano tayo makakapag-provide ng well-rounded education sa students natin? Okay? How do we provide well-rounded education? Okay? Isn't it when yung sa mga bago, meron tayong undertaking, di ba? Meron tayong undertaking na for those na hindi pa nag-let at pero ang background nila education, kailangan nilang maging licensed educators sila. Kung wala pang masters, kailangan magma-masters sila. Okay? And of course, we are also encouraging after mag-masters, makakaroon kayo or for you guys to be able to take your doctorate. Why? Because we, all of us, envision ourselves to be a premier institution. Paano tayo magiging premier institution if yung level of education natin bilang guro ay nandito lang? Okay? Paano tayo mag-grow? Okay? If hanggang bachelor's degree lang tayo. Right? Okay. And the reason why we want to be able to do that is because if we are well-rounded as an instructor, those are the specific knowledge that you can pass sa mga students nyo in order for them to be well-rounded themselves. Okay? Our mission, our aim is to mold men and women to achieve a high level of competence in their own chosen field of endeavor, to inculcate in them the love of God and fellow men, and to manifest empathy and commitment to fellow human beings by tapping and converting their potentials into exemplary talents, as we dedicate ourselves to the development of globally competitive human resource pool to meet the challenges and changing demands of today's industry geared towards the progress of our community and our nation. Okay, so again, I underlined here the high level of competence in their chosen field of endeavor. Okay, so paano tayo magmumold again ng mga students to have the high level of competence if, yun nga, stagnant tayo sa growth. Right? Okay. And not only that, we want to make sure na aside from us na magiging professionals tayo, we have the right technical skills. Kahit nag-masters tayo, nag-doctorates tayo, but if wala tayong love of God, wala tayong empathy sa human being, Tama po ba? Wala tayong empathy sa students natin. I've always, I sound like a broken record and I will keep on saying this over and over even if people will get tired of me, right? It does not matter if naging cum laude yung graduate natin, pero yun pala magnanakaw siya. And that happened. Meron tayong cum laude dito sa past college, nag-work sa sister company, anong ginawa niya? Nagmaniobra siya ng mga financial documents. Finorce balance niya. So, what? Did we fail as an institution? Because hindi tayo nag-instill ng love of God. Kasi kung if you love God, takot kang gawin ng mga kasalanan ng mga ganyan, tama ba? If you love your fellow human beings, takot ka rin, or you wouldn't want to, steal from that specific entity, tama? And we also have the Not Alone program. Okay, the Not Alone program is part of the program, like what Ma'am G discussed a while ago. Part ng guidance yan. But I've learned that when I was a part of the Not Alone program, doon din, although yes, sasabihin natin na at some points talagang emphatic tayo, pero when we were able to discuss and when we volunteer in this Not Alone program, nakikita natin kung ano yung mga specific troubles na nangyayari sa mga kabataan natin, yung mga students natin. So na-instill natin yung empathy sa mga students natin, okay? And then, okay, so we dedicate ourselves to the development of a globally competitive human resource pool to meet the challenges and the changing demands of today's industry geared towards progress of our community and our nation. Okay, so again, hindi lang natin dinidevelop yung students, pero tayo dinidevelop natin ang sarili natin. Okay, and that's why we have these specific programs. Okay, and it's very important to know why we're doing this. It's not because we're here because of our job. It's not because we have to make it seem and appear that we are meeting the mission and vision of Past College, but you have your responsibility to make sure that you contribute to the society and the community, okay, and the progress of our community. Okay, so what's our philosophy? Okay, can we read it? Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Our philosophy is to, 1, 2, 3, go. Train the existing and next leaders to bequeath the baton of perpetual excellence of stewardship and leadership in accordance to our Maker's expectations for the continuance of the institution and making a positive difference in the lives of people. Okay? So we go by this. Okay? We have to train the existing and next leaders. That's what we're doing right now. For some, ng mga ibang department heads, siguro yung mga iba umalis na hindi sila nakapag-train. Okay? You remember that Past College is a foundation. It was put up here because of the love of Mrs. Morante to be able to contribute to the society. So next, the current administrators right now, the philosophy that we go by, and I do believe that the heads and officers, okay, and those who have been in this institution for some time, is all about they know that it's all about training the next leaders to bequeath, parang i-inherit nila, right? The baton of perpetual excellence. Kung anong expectation natin, dapat maging excellent tayo in what? The stewardship of this institution. The stewardship of the education ng mga students natin. Hindi lang papasok ako dito, andito na ako 8 to 5, okay? Or 8 to 6 kung may overloading ako, tapos na. Hindi. Diba? Okay? And then, hindi lang tayo nagtitrain ng leader para lang i-follow yung mga specific SOPs and protocols. Hindi. We're training the next leader to make sure they have the specific mentality, they have the heart to make sure that they can lead and take care of this institution. Hindi kasi natin magigets yan eh. Okay, sabihin nyo, for example, may anak kayo. You're going to entrust that to a stranger that you don't really know. Do you think you'll trust that person taking care of your child? Or your younger brother or sister? Hindi, di ba? Right? Right. But, if you're able to, for example, dito sa mga manager, for example, si Ma'am Marjo, OIC. Okay? Sir Frank. Okay? There's, Ma'am Plinky. Okay? There's a high level of trust sa mga department heads. Right? Ma'am Angel, andito na for a long time, almost counting 20 years. Okay? There's a high level of trust. and confidence that the administrators and the Board of Trustees placed in the specific officers to make sure that they will continue the legacy of past college and that the next leaders will be able to continue the baton of excellence ng past college. Okay? And of course, it's not because we are going to continue it just because of the existence of past college, but because of the existence in making a positive difference in the lives of people. Okay? So, okay, let's go to our discussion point. Okay, so I have given you already a background of past college. I've stated the mission and vision and the philosophy of past college. So allow me to discuss to you briefly yung dress code natin. Okay, so of course, when we come to school, now we're expected na, we are distinct and recognized sa students natin and also sa mga parents and guardians. Okay, I think I told the story before last year na I read an article wherein there was a specific instructor or a college university teacher. She got pulled over by a cop or a police officer for speeding. Okay, she got pulled over and the police officer said, "Hey, miss, you're speeding, right?" Mali yung pagka-interact ng police officer doon sa nahuli niya for speeding. Akala niya student. Naka-bun yung hair niya, hindi masyadong maayos, tapos naka-mini-skirt siya, okay? Tapos dressed siya as students. Okay. Yun pala, nagkaroon silang ng orientation at school, the police officer attended, and then kasama yung anak niya sa parent orientation. And then after that, the son or the daughter said, "Hey dad," sabi niya sa police officer, "That's my teacher, Miss So-and-so." The police officer remembered kung ano yung pangalan ng instructor niya kasi natikitan siya diba? Pero had the police officer known na instructor siya at hindi siya parang reckless driving lang ng student, then the situation could have already been avoided. Like, "Okay ma'am, see you, please be careful next time." Okay? So ganun din tayo sa mga parents, diba? Baka mamaya i-approach tayo, "Asan dito si Miss Fatima?" Okay? Ganito ganyan. Tapos ganun pala. Ikaw ang kausap. Okay, tama. Tapos naka-jeans ka. Right now, naka-jeans ka ngayon. Sorry ha. I just So, the approach could also probably be different, okay? So, when you dress, sometimes you're also communicating, right? Not in all cases. But when you dress, you are also communicating that there's a level of professionalism in our part, okay? So, we have to make sure that we're distinct from our students, okay? Next is, yung mga corporate attires niyo or business attires, it's already required. Okay? Alam ko noon na specifically on the onset of pandemic, hinahayaan ko lang na mag-rubber shoes, mag-jeans, yung mga ibang tao ibang staff, because it was really hard for them to commute. They had to ride the boat. Okay? But I think we're already well or adjusted to the new normal. So there's really no excuse for us. And given the fact na magkakaroon na tayo ng limited face-to-face, kailangan na rin tayong pakita na professionals tayo. And that's also one way in showing how we dress. Okay? So for male, ang allowed is collared, long or short sleeves. Okay? Doesn't have to be long all the time, as long as pwede nyo naman i-roll up. Okay? Or short sleeves, like Sir Frank ngayon, and also Sir Vic. Okay? Naka-polo, naka-collared shirt sila. Okay? The long sleeves is optional unless required. Okay? So we have to also make sure na naka-slacks or khakis tayo. Okay? Sa mga lalaki. Sa female, okay, you can wear dresses or skirts or slacks. Your heels, 2 to 3 inches. 2 to 3. 2. Mataas ata na yung 3, no? Tama ba? Yeah, 2 inches. Did I say 3? Okay. Tapos, yung dresses pala, it should be 2 or 3 inches. Tama ba, Ma'am Marjo? Above the knee. Is it 2 to 3? Above the knee only. Ano yung required ulit sa inyo, Casey? I think 2 to 3 is fine. Wag naman yung masyadong maikli. The reason being is because, for some na aakyat baba sa stairs, baka masilipan kayo ng mga students or yung mga ibang guests, okay? Question? What? Huh? Uniform. Okay, we'll get to that. Okay. Okay. So the uniform, I think there's a proposal naman. Or wala pa? I think we've already discussed na use for us a proposal to be submitted, pero wala pa naman dumarating. Okay, so we'll discuss more about that. But in the meantime na wala tayong uniform, please, you're expected to come dressed properly, okay? You have to appear neat, even how we fix our hair, light makeup sa mga staff natin, especially dun sa admin office, kasi syempre magtatanong sila, so we have to appear na fresh, okay? And of course, any deviation from the dress code, you know, it's only case-to-case basis. Like for example, may mga medical condition, submit to me a medical certificate why you're not required to wear a specific type of, for example, heels. Okay? Pwede naman tayong mag-flats. For example, alam ko naman, babae din ako, ang hirap mag-flats, mag-heels, di ba? So, ang sabi ko, I recognize this, you are allowed to wear comfortable shoes. Pwede nyo naman yung itago sa ilalim. Pero when we're talking to guests, isuot nyo yung proper heels natin. Or pag maglalakad kayo doon sa from main annex or vice versa, go ahead and you can wear your flats. As long as siguro isang color lang. Black. Siguro. Kasi yun ang at least professional ang dating. Okay? Black shoes. And then also the heels, hindi siya, kung open toe siya, wag naman yung toe lang ha, hindi naman yung lahat open na. Okay? Closed sa likod. Or sa, right? Kung closed sa harap, pwede naman open sa likod. Okay? Or closed lahat. Okay lang naman yan. Okay? No sandals, no wedges. Alam niyo yung wedges? Or platforms? Ha? Okay lang yan. For now. Okay. Okay, so you know, pwede niyo lang i-research. Kung alam niyo ba? Lahat ba alam how wedges are? Okay? So, moving forward na tayo. Model tayo, Ma'am Marjo. Okay. Wedge. Ayan. Okay. Kasi like I said, okay lang naman, right? Okay naman tayo before. Pero right now, we're already moving in. Tapos sa mga dresses natin, bawal tayong mag-jean dress, okay? Or jean tops, okay? Sa mga babae. Right? So, again, pwede naman siguro, this will be formalized. For example, uuwi yung staff. O, sige, ipaalam. Uuwi ako kasi pupunta ako ng Manila or I'm going to visit my mom. I have to dress up on the specific day, Saturday. Can I? Then okay, go ahead and write a letter and then we'll excuse you for that. But if otherwise wala yung mga specific documentations, then, you know, expect natin na makakaroon tayo ng siguro usap, okay, or memo, okay? Pero of course, corrective lang to, right? And sa mga shirts natin, if we have parades, diba? Siguro we might be looking forward to having parades this year. I think may proposal din tayo na makakaroon tayo ng specific shirt. But then, for example, naalat ko yung shirt tapos magre-resign the next semester, of course, that will be reimbursable sa school. Okay? Next, of course, you have to wear your ID. Okay? So, prohibition, nasabi ko na yan. No rubber shoes as well unless there's a medical concern. No wearing of untidy attire. So, kahit nasabi natin naka-professional attire tayo, pero yung pagsuot din natin, it doesn't look good. So, we still don't look professional. Okay? And then, no wearing of attire that attract malicious acts or thoughts from students or co-workers. So siguro mga plunging necklines, especially for those who might be blessed sa taas, no? Okay, we don't know kung ano yung mga thoughts natin sa mga students, okay? So hindi pwede mga ganun or yung mga sobrang miniskirt, okay? As much as possible, yung skirt natin, hindi rin yung body hugging, okay? Meron yung specific material yan, di ba, sa babae? Yung parang cotton siya. Tama po ba? Ha? Body con, yeah, contour, right? Body con, tama. Okay. Alright. And then, bawal pala ang magsuot ng any other logos na hindi past college. So, for example, meron akong naging instructor dati, meron tayong naging instructor. First day of school, dito pag-work, ang laki-laki ng logo kung saan siya nag-graduate. Sabi, naligaw ata to. did that person know where he signed up or is he working? So I know you put pride sa alma mater niyo, but again, we're here at Pass College. So iba. So those things are also sanctionable. Okay? So I'm disclosing this sa inyo, okay? So that aware po tayo. Okay? So the appearance din natin also, can't find my mouse. Ay, sorry, hindi pala, no? Right, left lang. Okay, so it's very important for us to have that because it projects the image of our school, okay? And they would also know that when we're dealing with parents, we're dealing with outsiders, we're dealing with guests, that we are professionals here in Pass College and that we're very serious in taking care of the image of Pass College, okay? So let's go ahead and move. Any questions? Any question? None? Okay, real quick, let's move to the minimum qualifications. Okay, so I'll discuss to you why I'm going to be discussing this. Okay, so let's read. Okay, the minimum qualifications. Okay, this is set by CHED sa faculty natin. Okay, so according to Section 35 in MRPS. Okay, so here hindi siya nagre-reflect. Okay, so. Section 35, minimum faculty qualifications, again, minimum. The minimum qualifications of a faculty in higher education institution shall be as follows. Okay? For undergraduate, tignan nyo kung machi-check nyo to, okay, especially sa mga new. Okay? Must be a holder of a master's degree, mainly in his or her major field. So, for example, EDUC graduate kayo, okay, major in English, dapat meron kayo ng bachelor's degree, major in English. Okay? If you're teaching in accountancy, dapat may degree kayo sa accountancy. Hindi pwedeng magturo ng subject or magturo in the accountancy program if hindi graduate in BSA. Okay? At the same time, may specific qualifications. Okay? Mataas na ang standards natin sa BSA because kailangan CPA, okay? Where applicable there, appropriate license. So kailangan applicable yan sa BSA na may appropriate license. Sa EDUC, dapat may license yan. So dapat license teacher tayo. Sa criminologist, PRC license, si Ma'am Chloe, right? Alright, so so in PE, for example, in EDUC ito, kailangan Bachelor of Science in Physical Education or Bachelor of Science in Education, major or minor in PE, or any bachelor's degree with certificate in physical education. Okay? Kailangan natin ng instructor sa PE, so please pass the word. Okay? In-include ko to so that I can advertise. Kailangan natin ng PE instructor. Okay? So I've given you a handout earlier. I think Casey gave you a handout. Okay, so can you kindly look kung ano yung mga specific qualifications nyo dyan. So if you're EDUC graduate, kailangan tignan nyo. Kung HMTM, tignan nyo kung ano yung mga minimum qualifications. Okay? So criminology. Again, I was pressed for time. Baka may mga kulang, but you can specifically look at the CHED Memorandum Order, updated one pertaining to your department, so you know kung ano yung mga specific qualifications. Why? I'll tell you later when we move on. Okay? So, pati sa heads. So, ito minimum qualifications lang to sa faculty. Pero when it comes to the heads, may mga qualifications dapat sila. Alright? Siguro, sige. So, for example dito, tignan natin. Let's look at BSA. Okay? So, ang qualifications dapat, okay, registered professional accountants in the Philippines with current PRC identification cards, holder of a valid certificate of accreditation as accounting instructor from BOA or PRC, okay, si Sir Frank, okay, holder of at least a master's degree in accountancy. Okay? So we go on to kung ano yung mga qualifications natin, right? So moving forward na tayo. Any questions on that? Okay. Okay, so let's move to the classification of faculty. We have the academic and also the non-academic classification natin. So when we talk about academic, Okay, these are the personnel who are formally engaged in actual teaching. So we have, for example, the part-time and the full-time. Okay, we also have the deans or the coordinators. Okay, they are mainly engaged in the actual teaching. Okay, no question, right? Then we have the academic support personnel. Okay, who are these personnel? They perform certain academic functions directly supportive of teaching. So we have here the registrars, the librarian, the guidance counselors, so or guidance coordinator. So they fall under the academic support personnel. Okay? Sa mga bago, saan tayo nagpo-fall? Sa academic personnel. Okay? So we also have other persons performing similar functions, right? Including institutional officials, like for example, college director, right? Other people would be registrar clerk. Tama po ba? Right? Or assistant registrar. Okay, and then we also have the non-academic. Okay, so the non-academic personnel, they perform administrative functions but not involved in academic work. Okay, so administrative function and maintenance of the school, accounting, okay, non-academic, HR department namin, or of course the general services department. Okay. We also have the full-time and part-time faculty. Okay? So, lahat tayo dito, majority full-time, except for si Miss Nicole. Okay? So, the full-time faculty, they possess at least the minimum qualifications. Make sure you take note of the minimum qualifications. Okay? I know that some of you are probably asking why. Right? Kasi some of you, wala pa yung minimum qualifications. Wala pa yung LET. But the reason being is because we saw the potential, specifically yung mga panelists, nakita namin out of some or of the people who are applicants who applied for the specific position, okay, you were chosen. Okay, mahirap talaga ang screening sa past college, tama po ba? Right? So we see the potential in you. So we are allowing, and I do believe, indirectly, sinasabi din ng CHED na pwede, as long as they undergo when they're here, na makukuha nila, tama po ba, Ma'am Marjo? Yung mga minimum qualifications. Of course, you are mandated to make sure that you get your license and also undergo your master's, right? Okay? Devote not less than 8 hours of work. No remunerative occupation elsewhere requiring regular hours except when permitted by the HEI. So hindi tayo pwedeng mag-work outside, right? And also teach outside, okay? Out of past college, okay? 21 to 24 units, right? I think 24. Okay, I think that would be dependent upon the preparation that you're given. And then not paid during summer term, but may be required to report to assist in enrollment or assigned tasks. Or sometimes may mga specific subjects that are offered and kayo yung magtuturo. Okay? And we've recently also observed as well during the pandemic na supposedly hindi paid yung mga instructors, but of course, we also understand the plight. So the OIC, the register would assign specific tasks so that meron din tayong pay during the summer. Okay? Part-time faculty does not carry full teaching load. Okay? Paid per hour or per unit based. Okay? May or may not have employment outside the school. Like for example, si Sir Jethro, okay, may employment siya sa labas. Related to his course na kinuha niya. Okay? Who else? Mga part-time criminologists natin. Okay? They, for example, si Sir Patnaan. Okay? Nagtitrain siya ng mga bagong policemen. Okay? So those are the examples. Okay? And also Sir Vidal, di ba? Ano na uli yung position niya, ma'am? Jail officer, right? Sa Burgos District Jail, okay? Okay. So, we also have the probationary and the regular or permanent status, okay? So this is very important. For the probationary, we have the 6 months duration, okay? For the non-academic. Na-classify nyo ng sarili nyo sa non-academic or academic. Tama po ba? So for the academic, 3 school years tayo. Again, this is set by CHED. okay, or the manual regulations of private institutions. Not set by Pass College, but it's set by CHED. Okay? So for academic, that's actually 3 school years. Okay, so now, anyway, meron yung siguro, tsaka ko na-discuss sa mga ibang personal yan. Okay? So, again, how many years ang probationary natin? Pag faculty, 3 years. Pag non-academic, 6 months. So, registrar, clerk, sino pa yung iba? Basta. Okay? 3 years. Okay. Question? Okay. So, okay. Meron ako palang gustong i-discuss lang pala, no? I think I forgot, and I forgot to include it in my, here, tama, dito, sa regular permanent status, nag-skip na ako. Sa regular or permanent status, sa section 18, okay, regular or permanent status, okay, ang sabi dito, a full-time academic teaching personnel who has satisfactorily completed his or her probationary employment and who possesses the minimum qualifications required by the Commission and the institution shall acquire a regular or permanent status if he or she is rehired or reappointed immediately after the end of his or her probationary employment. Okay. Di ba kanina dinidiscuss ko yung mga minimum requirement? Di ba? So meaning to say, kahit nag 3 years tayo dito sa PAS or any academic institution, if hindi natin na-meet yung qualification natin, which is to have a license, okay, aside from that, hindi lang sa CHED, meron akong nilagay doon sa undertaking ng iba. The reason why I had that is because why? We're moving towards for us to be globally competitive as instructors. Okay? And also, ganun dapat maging student natin. And that's why may mga nire-require ako, tama ba? Ng trainings. Hindi lang yung masters, pero if required kayo na papuntahin sa training, kailangan yung mag-attend. Right? So, even if you did not meet the minimum requirements ng CHED, and also dun sa na-place ko sa undertaking, hindi tayo makakwalify as a regular full-time faculty. Okay? But then again, of course, may mga specific instances. I know that, again, it will be siguro discussed na lang sa mga iba because we also have long-time staff here. But we already considered them na talagang able and capable. Okay? So, wala naman issue yun. Okay? And wala naman ng issue yan sa CHED kasi employment relationship is between Pass College and also the employee. Okay? So moving forward, however, a regular or permanent academic teaching personnel who requests a teaching load equivalent to part-time load shall be considered resigned and hence may forfeit his or her regular or permanent status at the discretion of management of the higher educational institution or education institution and thereby be covered by the term contract employment. Okay. So for example, full-time tayo, tag nag-request tayo ng 15 or 14. So parang na-forfeit na yung permanent or regular status natin. Okay. But of course, may mga specific cases na nag-request na magdi-deload, especially for those maybe also in the future that will be undergoing research or maybe specific studies. Okay. Like for si Sir Frank, however, no, supposedly nadi-deload siya. But then, yun nga, si Sir Frank nga, overload. Pero, I think nawiwindang yung mga ibang staff. Dahil kahit overload siya, he was able to acquire his master's sa La Salle University. And at the same time, mag-ano pa siya ng research. Okay, which is internationally recognized. So doon tayo, yung nga, globally competitive tayo. Right? So even if si Sir Frank, siguro during that time when I wasn't here yet, given the fact na kulang ang mga instructors, he still had that load sa kanya na para magturo. Okay? So, those are the case-to-case basis. But again, I'm just disclosing to you kung ano yung nakalagay sa regulations ng CHED. Okay? So, last question, no? Okay na? Okay, so let's move forward sa frequent concerns in the HR department. Okay? So, again, I won't be able to discuss. This is not complete. Because ang daming mga concerns, ang daming mga code of behavior natin. Pero ito yung mga frequent. So tardiness, absences, and also undertime. So may mga cases ng HR department na, eto, we're all young professionals or kung kahit na young or old, professional tayo, di ba? So kung sinabi natin na 8 o'clock ang pasok natin, gaya natin si Ma'am Esme na 6:30, andito na. I'm just kidding. Or 6, 7 o'clock. Or 6:30, tama, kasi before the general services come in, she's already here. Pero na kung nabasang post niya, napakaaga ko naman, uwi muna ako. Kasi, isang oras. Okay, so ang aga-aga ni Doc Esme. Okay, so may mga early birds tayo dito. Si Ma'am Chloe, si Sir Vic. Parang ngayon, nandito na si Doc Esme. So naglalaban ata sila sa... ha? Andito na si Ma'am Chloe. Kaya siguro one time, baliktad yung suot mo. Ano? Kasi hahabunin ko, ako dapat yung maaga. Mas maaga ngayon si Doc Esme sa akin. So, nabulunan. Bakit? Ano? Bakit? Aha. Aha. Ala. Natakot. Buti na lang andun si Sir Vic. Okay, just let us know anytime, no? Call, inform us, and then at the same time, we will try to consult din si Doc Rupert. And then of course, if we need assistance, especially for those who are boarding here, Ma'am Riza, si Ma'am Sally, Sir Vic, kayo, si Sir Frank, always call us, okay? If in case you need assistance, give us a call, okay? All right. So, yun. So, nagre-report sila late and then at the same time, either undertime without informing concerned personnel, absence before and or after a holiday, okay? So, kung minsan, yung iba, maaga sila papasok pero umalis din na maaga. Or yung iba, late din pumasok, mag-undertime pa rin. Hindi sinasabi sa personnel. Sinasabi sa faculty nila. But then, hindi rin nakakarating sa OIC, hindi rin nakakarating sa head, okay, or the HR department. So pagpunta ng HR department or OIC doon, asan si so-and-so, ma'am, hindi ko alam, or ma'am, umuwi kasi ganito ganyan. Inform the proper personnel. Okay, because we're also setting the right example sa mga bago. Okay? And then, absence before and or after holiday. So sometimes kasi, just to disclose sa mga bago, yung holiday not necessarily, for example, it was declared holiday on Thursday. Not necessarily na i-observe natin ng Thursday, specifically if it will be beneficial sa operations ng school natin. So meaning to say, the college director or OIC can move the holiday to a Friday or a Saturday para yung mga uuwi, pwede na silang umuwi, or especially if may mga hinabol tayo ng enrollment, okay, pwede natin i-move. The result is, number one, mas mahaba din yung bakasyon natin. Tama? Okay. Oh, number one is forcing consideration of the operations ng school. Okay? Next is, yun. I think na-double ata yan eh. Before and after a holiday. Okay? Absence on Mondays or Saturdays or last working day without prior notice and or approval without filing LOA. So, yung mga iba, okay, nasa COB to, nag-absent sila on Monday or Saturday or kahit na walang pasok ng Saturday, Friday, hindi sila pumapasok. Okay? So, nakakover tayo dito sa COB. Sometimes kasi gusto natin mag-extend. Pero, we're setting again a bad example. O buti pa si ganito, tapos may mga picture kung saan pumunta, di ba? Naiinggit siguro yung iba, ako rin, susunod ako. So magiging recurring problem natin yan. And that is a recurring problem na nangyayari that HR has to deal with. Okay, or even verbally approved, sasabihin ng HR assistant or sasabihin ni Ma'am Marjo, mag-file ng LOA. Pero pagdating ng leave, walang LOA. Pagdating ng payroll, walang LOA. Okay, leave of absence. Okay, and then absence without permission. So makakaroon ng continuous absence for 2 or 3 days, you have to make sure na, those are already considered AWOL. Okay? The reason why we're telling you this is because these are simple things that is within your control. Instead of us, our department, focusing on, memohan ko nga si ganito ganyan, kasi hindi siya ganito, memohan ko si ganito ganyan. Parang, that takes a lot of effort, right? Tapos kakausapin pa yung head, where in fact, hey, come here, let's talk, bakit ganun? After that, let's do it. Right? But if hindi na namin yan madodocument, ano magiging basis namin? Right? Na isa-sanction din kayo. Pag hindi tayo kino-correct yung behavior. Okay? So when you receive a memo, again, issuance of a memo, okay, the right approach there is to first read it and at the same time, see where the HR department is coming from. Because if alam din natin na nag-absent tayo, of course, or hindi tayo nagpaalam, expect natin na makakaroon tayo ng memo. Right? Kasi you're showing courtesy din sa mga officers or OIC where you are. Buti pag malaki-laki na tayong university. Right? Right? Or ipaalam nyo sa head. Okay, ipaalam nyo sa head, but ipaalam nyo din sa HR department. So yung expected reply sa memo is make sure mag-reply kayo timely. Okay, reply, clarify, and at the same time, if needed din, siguro, if alam din natin, i-admit din natin na there's, something that we have to admit na mali talaga. Right? So, the purpose of the memo is, of course, number one, to clarify, and also to inform or correct specific behaviors. Okay? And pwede naman sanction if needed. Okay? Next is leaving place of work without permission or with permission but past the expected return time. So meron yung iba na during the pandemic, nung nag-start na kami ng mga office hours, may dalawang lumabas tapos na grocery. So hindi nagpaalam. And syempre, hindi ko naman alam, no? But na-observe ko. Okay, let's see. Hindi sila nagpaalam, bumalik sila, may dala-dala mga shopping bags, and then namemohan sila, please explain why you were observed, you're out for this so. And ang explanation sa akin is because, ang gamit pa is, I'm sorry if you were not able to ask permission. Tama po ba? Tama po ba yung term? Ha? Ha? Sabi niya, I'm sorry if I was not able or we were not able to ask permission. Tama po ba yan? Were they able to ask permission or were they not able to ask permission? Kasi sometimes hindi ko rin alam if sinasadya pa yung staff or maybe because, you have to look at it objectively because hindi naman natin primary language ang English. So baka mali din. But then again, I was not able. Pag college graduate, alam na natin yan I was not able to ask permission. Is it because you were not able or because you did not want to ask permission? Right? Kasi ang dali-dali naman, madadaanan mo yung OIC, madadaanan mo yung HR, nasa harap ka, nakikita mo naman. So it's not the question of whether or not you were not able to, it's the question is whether or not you wanted to ask permission. So leaving the place of work, okay? Kung ano na yung mga excuse nila, so again, corrective behavior, okay? Unproductive use of time, okay, or meron yung iba magpapaalam, pero expected sila babalik after siguro 15 minutes, pero nag-extend sila, naging 30 minutes, okay? So may mga iba na nadaanan ko, bago-bago ako dito sa HR, sasabihin nila, ma'am, pumunta ako sa ganito ganyan, okay, sige, asan si ganito ganyan, okay, punta ako sa annex, excuse me, buildings 2 to 3. Pagdating doon, andito ba si so-and-so sa guard? Wala, ma'am. Wala din sa logbook ni log. Yun pala, bumalik sa main building, may daladalang Mart 1, nang may Mart 1 noon, shopping bags, may daladalang fishball, walking casually, like, okay. So the official business was not there, but they went shopping. Okay? Right? So if may mga errands kayo, okay, please do it outside or maybe mag-file kayo ng leave. Okay, or may mga instances, again, that's also case-to-case basis. But you have to time out because hindi na yan company time. Okay? Right? So all these things, okay, again, unproductive use of time and or pretending to work. Kasama to, pumunta ako sa annex, I visited them to see what was their business there. Pero pagpunta ko doon, yung nga, wala sila. Or, nandun sila sa annex, tapos, ang lakas-lakas ng speakers, ng laptop, parang, wait a minute, hindi to maganda pagdating ng mga students natin, nanonood sila ng movies. Tapos, meron yung iba, nakapatong yung bag nila, nakaganon. Okay? Siyempre, sa annex, pag-akyat mo, students agad, di ba? Or may dating ng parents. How does that look like sa image ng past college? Right? So, that's unproductive work. Unproductive use of time. Okay? Or pretending to work. Pag narinig nila yung heels ko that one time, right? So, nag-flats ako para hindi ako marinig. Hindi, sorry. I'm just kidding. Nag-flats ako kasi mahirap maglakad na naka-heels. So, yun. Mag-ayos na sila. Okay? Right? So, unproductive use of time. Of course, kasama din yung use of social media, chit-chatting, watching movies, and also rumor mongering. Pero the term now is called Marites. What does Marites stand for? Masters in Arts in Relaying. You know? Huh? Marites. So, alam niyo na, Masters in Arts in Relaying Information through Exaggerated Storytelling. Tama ba? Oh. Okay, yan. So, all these things, so, kung magma-masters tayo ha, sorry parang naano to, buti na lang na-disinfect ni Ma'am G na ano ko. So, pag mag-masters tayo, wag tayo mag-masters in Marites. Okay? Mag-masters tayo dun sa specific field natin. Okay? So, all these things, okay, these are sanctionable sa code of behavior natin. Okay? So, please know, we want to make our time productive, spending our time in growing the institution and making specific policies, but not always correcting because these things are easily correctable. Di ba? Okay? Makakorrect din yung heads nyo or makikorrect nyo naman yung sa sarili nyo. Okay? Oh, another thing is, if pagdating ng before 5 o'clock, 4:45, nagkwentuhan na or nagpupulbo na. Di ba? Di ba? Or nagpapak na. Di ba pag kayo, instructor kayo, nagtuturo kayo, tapos hindi pa nadidismiss ng class nyo, pero nakikita nyo yung estudyante nakaupo, tapos nagpapak na, tapos nakaganon, nandun yung bag. Di ba you feel offended? Tama po ba? Right? Okay, so wag natin din yung gawin. Parang sa institution, no, we're here to put out the specific hours. Okay? So, all these things, loafing and using official time for personal activities, okay, being unproductive, sanctionable mga to. Okay? So next, we move to SIL, Leave of Absences and the Re-Echo Seminar. SIL, I will also be discussing this sa benefits natin, okay? So real quick lang, the SIL or the Service Incentive Leave, especially for those who are new, pag nag-put in na tayo ng 1 year dito, ang benefit is that we have 5 days of incentive leaves. The 5 days is pwede nyo yang gamitin. Not necessarily na 5 days gamitin nyo lang minsan and hindi. You can file for specific leave. You can get a leave of absence from the OIC. Dati-dati nandoon lang sa admin table, but through the recommendation ng ma'am, is para alam ni OIC kung bakit siya nagpa-file. Okay? And then may specific approval yan. Okay? Yan, i-ano ko na lang dito sa SIL and LOA. So, yung SIL, if hindi nyo magamit within the year, okay, pwede siyang i-convert commutable dyan sa cash. Okay? That is at the end of the year kung kailan siya na-hire. Tama ba? So for example, if you were hired February 1, tapos susunod na yung February 1 of the next year, if may mga 3 pa kayo, please inform na i-convert niya na sa cash. Okay? Wag na natin ipapaabot pa na plus 5 ulit tapos magiging 8 because it's going to be hard na matatrack po yun. Okay? Next is, yung SIL natin, hindi siya basta-bastang, okay, gusto ko mag-absent or may kailangan akong puntahin or kailangan kong mag-rest. Sabihin lang natin, gusto niyo mag-rest, gusto niyo mag-beach. Siguro, pag hindi naman siguro masyadong, pwede naman siguro i-allow. I'm not saying I'm not speaking for your heads or the OIC. Okay? Pero, that's management prerogative kung kailan yan gagamitin. Okay? So, LOA, again, I know currently we're observing 3 days. Okay? I will siguro formalize kung ibabalik natin sa 5 days, di ba? 5 days dati. Okay? Para enough yung paalam sa mga heads and also sa admin. Okay? So, you have to fill out the form and attach needed documents. So, pag sasabihin nyo may check-up ako, kung may scheduled na kayo document, i-attach nyo para at least alam namin na talagang true. Not because we mistrust you, but because it's needed for documentation. And at the same time, nakakaroon din ng mga cases before na sasabihin itong pupuntahan nila, pero hindi naman totoo. Okay? And then, if there is a deviation, for example, may pinuntahan at hindi talaga nakapag-file, then we have to regularize the document. Okay? Next is, sa mga LOA, yan, naka-red. Pag sasabihin nyo, I'm going to be absent for this period. Why? Because of personal reasons. Sa tingin nyo, excusable yon? Ha? Pag sinabi nyo sa form, I'm going to be absent because of personal reasons. Okay, those are not excusable. So, madideny yung LOA. Okay? Kailangan sabihin kung ano yung mga specific reasons so we know na excusable mga yan. If, for example, din na wala, di ba? Kung for example, nakakaroon tayo ng biglaan na medical check-up, pagbalik nyo, mag-attach kayo, i-regularize nyo yung document para may excuse yung absence nyo. Okay? Again, so okay na tayo sa SIL and LOA. Okay? Question sa mga bago? No? Alright. So sa re-echo seminar, okay, ito yung, for example, may gusto kayong puntahan ng seminar or pinadala kayo ng head nyo or ni-recommend na pumunta kayo ng seminar or yung OIC or college director, makakaroon tayo ng re-echo seminar. Hindi na ito medyo na-observe, okay? Kasi ang dami nating hinahabol. But may specific report kayong na pwedeng, required na isa-submit, okay? And that's supposed to be in 5 days. I stumbled across this doon sa isang email ni AMM, okay? Na kailangan within 5 days, meron tayong re-echo report. So you have to submit a re-echo report, okay, forward to the OIC, okay, HR, of course, your head. And kailangan yun din mag-conduct ng seminar. So for example, nag-attend kayo ng EDUC seminar, okay, you have to re-echo that to the education department. Or if nag-attend ka ng specific seminar about management, okay, yung mga heads, kung for example nag-attend, or a specific head, kailangan i-re-echo yan sa heads. Okay? So, if resigned, and for example, malaki or kahit na maliit, okay, na yung cost ng seminar na shinolder ng institution, of course, kailangan i-reimburse yan pag nag-resign agad. Okay? So, details on that can be asked sa OIC. Okay? Okay. So, other concerns in the HR department. Okay. So, allowing students to take periodic examination without proper permit. Nasa COB natin yan. Concern din ng registrar. Concern din yan ng accounting. It's all interrelated. Okay? Incorrect input of grades or miscomputed grades in the periodical grades submitted. Na-discuss ata yan ng registrar department. Okay? So, kasama din yan sa COB. So, meaning to say, for example, if nag-allow ka ng student na mag-take ng exam, okay, the head can write a memo, HR can write a memo, registrar can write a memo na ganito ganyan. Bakit inalaw? So sanctionable yan. Okay? Or incorrect or even late submission of grades, okay, or miscomputed grades in the periodical examination. Sanctionable mga yan because we want to make sure we submit the accurate information sa registrar kasi ito yung may mga deadlines sila na isa-submit sa CHED. Okay? Alright. So here, in red, okay, sorry if maliit, but I have to make sure kasha sa mga ibang slides. And usually pag sa HR, we have to really write para ma-discuss lahat. Okay? So actions done that could affect the image of the school, whether done inside or outside the school premises or in social media. Okay? So, for example, drinking. Nakaroon tayo ng drinking session ng isang instructor or instructors sa students. Okay, wala na rin yung instructor dito. Okay, and nakaroon ng picture siya na lasing and also yung mga student na walang damit sa taas. So, that affects the image of the school. Okay, doesn't matter if it was inside the campus, it was outside, it was posted in social media. Tapos nag-react din yung isang instructor na laughing icon. So, ano yung pinapakita natin, indirectly pinapakita natin na we are okay with that specific behavior. Okay? Right? So those are sanctionable. Hindi tayo pwedeng inom, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-post or anything in social media that affects the goodwill of Pass College. Na it was built by the administrators and the longtime staff of Pass College. Okay? Having or involvement in immoral relationship with coworker, student, or outsider. For example, may asawa na yung co-teacher mo nakapagrelasyon ka, immoral relationship mga yan. Or may asawa ka, nakipag-boyfriend ka, or nakipag-girlfriend ka sa isang student, immoral yon. Okay? Or even if walang, dito sa past college, even if walang boyfriend or girlfriend yung student, pero nakapag-boyfriend ka, niligawan mo, those are sanctionable. And I strongly speak about this because may nangyari na, and ayokong maulit, and ayoko din masira ang pangalan ng past college. Okay? So, please lang na, wag iwasan natin yan. Kung may mananligaw sa inyo, i-avoid natin. If nakakaroon kayo ng problem kasi may mga iba rin yung behavior ng mga students natin ngayon, ipaalam niyo sa guidance, ipaalam niyo sa OIC or HR department. Okay? Involvement with criminal or immoral activities as the principal or as an accessory or an accomplice. So for example, nagbebenta ka ng may nagbebenta ng drugs, okay? Or nagbebenta ng drugs yung isang instructor. Okay, that's an immoral activity. That's a criminal activity as well. Okay, so sanctionable mga yan, okay? Abot kaya ng termination, okay? Or maybe the school can also file a case, okay? Or if you're an accessory or an accomplice to it. For example, tinulungan mo siya magbenta ng drugs. Hindi ka naman ikaw nagbenta ng drugs, pero tinulungan mo siya. Okay? Naghanap ka ng buyer niya. Okay? Sana hindi. Okay? So those are sanctionable. Okay? Or, for example, pinatuloy mo siya sa office. You gave him or her aid. Okay? So those are criminal activities in nature that's really frowned upon the institution. Hindi pwede. Okay? Failure to report to the proper authorities. The fact of having an apparent highly contagious disease which may endanger other employees and students. So if you know, alam ko na siguro yung iba nahiya, sana wala naman, no, diba, sa atin. Of course, ayaw nilang ipaalam sa iba. But again, we're working with students. We're also working with other faculty members who have families. So you need to report kung may mga specific conditions tayo so that we know. Right? We also have mga check-up na nire-require ng mga physician, school physician. Okay? So kailangan natin i-disclose, especially din also COVID. Dapat wala na yung mga bawal judgmental, no? Okay? Wag na tayong kasi we're protecting the lives of the people that we work with. Okay? And the people that we work with as well are also breadwinners. Okay? So if hindi natin na-disclose and it was also found out, sanctionable yan. Okay? Failure or refusal to submit to medical examination as may be required by the school. So, yung mga instances na, for example, may staff, ginamit is medical reason. Pinapasabi ng HR, punta ka, give me that specific ayaw mag-submit. Okay? Because anytime, if you're no longer fit to work for the school, of course, the school has the right to end the relationship. Kasi maapektuhan din yung education ng mga student and the operations of the school. Oh, sorry. Okay? And then, making derogatory remarks, whether written or in electronic form, against the administration, fellow staff, colleague, school, students, or against the school in general, within the school premises, outside school premises, and or any social media platform. So, yun nga, bawal tayo mag-post online, bawal tayo verbally kahit hindi online talk about yung colleague natin or the institution. Okay, anything alluding that would destroy the reputation or even start something that would destroy the institution. We have the necessary measures to protect the name of past college. Okay, so sana wag natin sirain yung institution natin. At the same time, yung mga colleagues natin. Okay? Next is indecent and or malicious behavior towards co-employee or student. Okay? Meron akong, wala na rin dito, di ba? Pero may complaint na, ma'am, si ganito ganyan, si sir parang nagre-remark na maganda ka or naghahaplos ng kamay, parang in joking form. So that is not allowed. Or even yung mga babae, hindi rin tayo pwede ganyan sa mga lalaki. Okay? Siguro alam din natin mga yan. Okay? Circulation of indecent pictures, video, without whether authentic or not, about a co-employee, student, or outside or inside the school campus. So alam ko, gusto ko rin i-tackle to, no, na with regards to posting, you have to be very careful kung ano yung mga pinopost nyo. Sa tingin ng iba kasi, because it's my personal account and not my professional account, that the school has no business whatsoever in correcting or also protecting the name of the school or correcting yung behavior. So kung anong pinapakita natin, yung attitude natin na we're professionals, we're educators, we are here to make a difference in the lives of students, paano tayo magiging believable if sa labas or sa social media nyo, whether or not, kasi di ba, may professional account tayo, pero sa labas, nagchichismis tayo, or we're circulating yung mga indecent posts, di ba? Yung mga yung mga TikTok, di ba? Na nagsasayo or they're showing mga female or male, di ba? Okay? So, please refrain from posting anything that would destroy the image of your colleagues or the institution, okay? Or pag may nakausap tayo dyan, okay, indecent behavior na traffic enforcer tapos minura or sinuntok, di ba? Meron yun? Okay? We can get sanctioned for that, okay? So, why? Why am I discussing this, okay? So, I've discussed with you specific concerns. I've discussed with you some of the things that I experienced early on. Okay? We want to make sure na align tayo sa COB. Okay? May nangyari. Ito, all these things here that are listed down and madami pa. Kulang pa. Siguro ang isang oras pa i-discuss ko kung ano yung mga nangyari. Okay? And it's good also na they're not with the institution because they are not aligned to our vision and mission. Okay? So meron yung teaching sitting on the desk with legs crossed. Okay? Yung mga pabebe, pa-cool sila just to make sure that they get the admiration of mga faculty natin. Okay? They're sitting on top of their desk with their crossed legs, with their cell phone. Next is, wala silang binibigay na exam to the students, but they give high grades. Okay? So magtataka tayo kung bakit hindi siya nagbibigay ng exam, pero line of 9 yung mga grades ng mga bata. Diba? Okay. Okay, students said instructor couldn't meet them, but was in the department office. I happened to be in the building 2-3, annex building. Narinig ko sa isang student, ay, sayang, nagpamasahe pa ako dito, kung alam ko wala na lang, di sana hindi ko pumunta. Okay? Kasi sinabi, chinating instructor na wala siya, or she won't be able to meet the students. So I said, oh, hi, sino yung instructor niyo? Hindi pa makakarating, kasi I didn't know who that person was. Si so-and-so, ganun ba? But then, lo and behold, I know for a fact na andito siya. Nasa edu office siya. Okay? So, sinabi ko yun sa head. So, hindi pwede yun. Kasi what? Nag-excite tayo ng budget ng mga students natin and yung oras. Okay? Next is calling students. Besh, beshi, anak, even if the staff has no child or even if meron, siguro yung iba, for example, di ba? Or even if, adopted, okay? Even if, okay? For example, pwede naman sabihin, anak, okay? Siguro pwede yun, kasi second parent tayo. Pero yung iba na mga young, mga line of 20, mga to beshi, anak, believable ba yun? Okay? So for example, si ma'am, sinong pinakabata sa inyo dito? Si Ma'am Jet. Siya. Sa inyo. How old are you? 22, okay? It doesn't matter. Meron namang yung iba na they're young, they had kids, okay lang naman, right? But, if alam nila na single ka, na wala, tapos binebeshi mo o anak, di ba? Tapos, pagsabi mo pa, yun ang anak, tapos yung may mga char, yung mga di ba? So, hindi tayo nagmumukhang professional. Di ba? Meron din yung nag-apply, anyway, segue lang, okay sana konti yung niya, pero nag-char siya, di ba? So, hindi yun believable. Yung sasabi mo anak, and then you're guiding him or her, but at the same time, mali yung behavior natin, okay? So, again, wag natin tawagin silang besh, pag nagsasalita tayo, wag tayong mag-char, or pag nagta-type tayo siguro, je. Pag di ba? Pag nagre-reply tayo, hihihi, di ba? Je. Hindi tayo jejumon, di ba? Pag jejumon, I think, sasabihin nila wala tayong, parang hindi ata educated, okay? So, inappropriate behavior or touching staff, I've discussed that. Inappropriate relationship with students, okay? Courting the students, okay? May nangyari yan, dyan, okay? Na-terminate yung employee because what did that person do is nanligaw. Kahit whether or not may academic performance ka, whether or not from another school or past college, if you don't align your values, I'm sorry, but you don't belong here. Okay? Next is drinking. Na-discuss ko na rin yan. Okay? So whether or not in-invite ka personally or whether or not alam ng magulang or guardian, bawal po tayo makipag-inuman or mag-attend ng mga parties ng mga ibang students natin. Okay? Because that will create, buti pa si ma'am ganito ganyan, ma'am Oklima, nag-attend siya kasi favorite niya si ganito ganyan. Nakita ko nag-attend siya ng birthday party. Tapos mataas yung grades niya. Kaya tignan mo, di ba? Close sila. Right? Okay? Alright? So, using of student tuition fee. May nangyari yan. Okay? Ito yung dinaskas ko kanina. Ginamit niya yung student tuition fee, pangbayad ng student, right? Then, sinabi niya na, okay, ako nang babayaran. And I think that person also, di ko alam kung either nakikitulog pa yon doon sa ng bata, alam din ng guardian. Okay? Tapos, ako na lang magbabayad ng tuition fee mo. Okay, trust naman ng bata. Then, ang nangyari pala is, that person used it for personal, kung ano-anong ginamit niya. Tapos, nung mag-e-exam na yung bata, hinahanap yung permit doon sa instructor. Mr. or Miss So-and-so, asan yung permit? Okay lang, hindi pa available. Don't worry, kasi alam ko na bayad ka naman na. Which in fact, hindi naman pala siya bayad. Okay? Tapos, pumunta dito yung parent ng student. Yun pala, what he did, okay, or she did, was that, minoobre niya yung policies. Okay, nag-proctor siya, nakipag-trade siya, ako na naman ko-proctor sa class mo. Okay, yung staff naman, bago siya, yung na-take over ng class, pinaproctoran, pumayag siya. Okay, because hindi niya alam pala na may vested interest or may hidden agenda yung nag-commit ng maling gawain. Okay? And then, of course, rumor mongering or chismis, okay? And also abuse of authority. Okay, meron din tayo na nagpa-power tripping, siguro nakaraan or sa mga iba, or wag natin gawin yan sa students or also sa mga staff natin. Okay? So why am I discussing this sa inyo? Okay, because a lot of people are complaining even if they're no longer here, okay? Because hindi sila aligned sa mission and vision ng past college. I've asked an instructor once again during the exit interview, why are you resigning? Okay? And at the same time, do you agree? Just because that person's no longer here. Hindi siya na-terminate, nag-resign siya. Okay? Nag-resign siya, yung isang instructor. Ang sabi niya, the reason why I'm asking also for proof is because sabi niya, pupunta siya sa check-up niya, which in fact, hindi pala. Okay? What time is it? 4? 4:19. Okay. So, mali pala yung reason. Okay? So, yung abuse of authority natin, abuse of authority, that's really, really frowned upon. Okay? So, moving forward, let's discuss so, yun. Okay, sorry I'm pressed for time. So the thing is, I want you to align yourself with the mission and vision of past college, okay? That's why I'm discussing this sa inyo. So moving forward to the benefits. Earlier, Casey has passed out, siguro from the SSS, yung mga specific benefits from the SSS. I'm not sure, hindi ko na-check kung updated yun, okay? But we have specific benefits, especially for those who are full-time, okay? So we have SSS benefits like sickness, maternity, disability, retirement, death, funeral, unemployment benefit, and then we have the employees' compensation, okay? So, sa PhilHealth, we have, for the members na, for example, nakasakit sila or na-hospitalized, meron yung inpatient or outpatient na I think kailangan yung i-process. And may mga specific chart of account sila with regards to kung ano yung nako-cover. I'm not fully aware, familiar with all these. Again, even SSS and also PhilHealth, may mga specific charts sila. Okay? Sa Pag-ibig, meron yung savings or provident savings program, short-term short-term loan programs, and also housing programs. Na, of course, you can also file for those or avail of those. Okay? Sa mga sickness, maternity, disability, I know these things pwede naman kayong i-assess ng accounting department. Okay? Yung sa mga iba, you can also check that out. Okay? But if you need help, let's go ahead and discuss and also discuss with Ma'am Riza. Okay? Sa computations naman, saan na tayo? Sorry. Okay. Okay. Moving back sa service incentive leave, okay, na-explain ko na to kanina sa 5 days, commutable sa cash or convertible sa cash, okay? If not exhausted, okay, yan, na-explain ko, sorry. Okay. So it can be commutable at the end of the year. Okay, now, here is where it applies. Okay, it applies to all employees except government employees. Okay, nakalagay ito, okay, by law. Hindi pwede sa government employees, hindi pwede sa persons in personal service of other, hindi naman yun applicable sa atin, hindi naman tayo government employees, okay, hindi naman tayo kasambahay, okay. Managerial employees, if they meet all of the following conditions, okay. So, their primary responsibility is to manage the establishment in which they are employed or employed or of a department or subdivision thereof, okay? They customarily and regularly direct the work of 2 or more employees therein, and they have the authority to hire or fire other employees of lower rank or their suggestions and recommendations as to hiring, firing, and promotion or any other change of status of other employees are given particular weight. So, mga coordinators or heads, okay, you are already part of the managerial employee, okay? But, I'll get to that. Okay, sana ako? Okay. Next is officers or members of a managerial staff if they perform. Did I discuss this? Naulit ba? Naulit? Joan? Ay, sorry. Continued. Tapos na. Ay. Okay. So, officers or members of a managerial staff, okay, if they perform the following duties and responsibilities. They primarily perform work directly related to management policies of their employer, customarily and regularly exercise discretion and independent judgment. Okay, tignan nyo kung employee managerial tayo, okay, or management position. Regularly and directly assist a proprietor or managerial employee in the management of the establishment or subdivision thereof in which he or she is employed, or execute under general supervision work along specialized or technical lines requiring special training, experience, or knowledge, or they execute under general supervision special assignments and tasks, and do not devote more than 20% of their hours worked in a work week to activities which are not directly and closely related to the performance of the work described in paragraphs 4, 1, 4.2, and excuse me, 4.3 and above. Okay, so 5 to 8, hindi naman applicable sa atin yan. So yung question natin siguro is, paano ako na coordinator? Paano ako na head? Okay, nagpa-fall under ako sa general or sa managerial staff. Okay, so, but past college allows, and we also give that sa mga OICs, sa managerial or sa coordinators. Tama ba? Right? Okay. Holiday pay, okay, we have the regular and also the special holiday. Again, siguro, ito, pasensya na if mahaba, pero I cut down kung ano yung binigay sa akin na topic. And believe me, mas madami pa yon, right? So I cut this down. Kaya sabi ko kay Ma'am Marjo, I really have to cut it down. And I try to really, really make sure makat ko. But if I don't discuss it, this is something na you're going to ask me anyway, or also the accounting department. So i-discuss ko. So we have the regular holiday and also the special holiday. So the regular holiday, this is when na-declare ng government na may holidays such as New Year's, Good Friday, Monday, Thursday, okay, Araw ng Kagitingan. So these are paid even if not worked. This is applicable to all, whether full-time or part-time, okay? We also have the special holiday, okay? Under special holiday, we have
the special working and also special non-working. So for example, yung EDSA revolution or nag-proclaim ang government na itong specific special whatever. Sometimes kasi, di ba nagde-declare ang government na wala naman, nagde-declare sila ng mga special holidays. If worked yun, then we're paid as if we went to work. It's just a special holiday because sinabi ng government na it's a special holiday. Okay? But if it's a special non-working holiday, we have to apply the no work or no pay policy. This is for the people who were hired, I think, 2021 and up. But for those who were here for a long time already, sa special non-working holiday, tama po ba? Accounting, Ma'am Marjo, they are paid even if they are not work. Okay? So, ayun. Okay? So, examples of special non-working holiday is Nino Aquino, All Saints Day, and also New Year, last day of the year. Okay? So, questions. What if the employee was absent before the holiday? Ano po yung rule? No pay. So if you're absent before the regular holiday, and also for those applicable sa non-working holiday, no work, no pay doon sa holiday. Okay? What if the employee was late before the holiday? Okay? Ito yung nagiging problem din ng HR. So if naging late sila, they expect na, late sila, holiday bukas, pumasok ako dito ng 10 o'clock. But they expect to get paid the whole pay ng holiday. Okay? They're not allowed or they're not going to be compensated the whole pay. They're going to be compensated as to what specific hours that you put in the previous day. Okay? What if nakapa-sensitive tong natin, yung laptop ko. Sorry. What if the employee wasn't late but had undertime? Same thing. So, for example, pumasok ka, hindi ka late, pero nag-half day ka, or pumasok ka ng 4:30, ang mababayad sa'yo ng holiday pay is until 7 hours and 30 minutes lang. Okay? What if worked on a holiday? Of course, mababayaran ka ng holiday pay and may mga specific computations yan. For further information, pwede natin i-ask yan kay Ma'am Riza.
Clarification lang po dun sa absent before holiday. Pwede pa rin po tayong mabayaran if mayroon po tayong available na service incentive leave at mag-file po tayo ng leave of absence.
But again, your leave of absence is dependent on the approval of the management. Right? So, if nag-file ka, tama yan, nag-file ka, may reason na pwedeng excuse naman na, okay, mag-absent ako dito, okay, recognize ka na if you're absent before the holiday pero may approved leave, that would already presume that the person already worked before the holiday. Okay, kasi may approved leave. Okay? Pero, if for example, pwede ka naman excuse but hindi naman, again, nasa head nyo yan or nasa management prerogative, magpa-file ka ng leave before the holiday pero di disapprove yan, kahit na nag-file ka ng leave, if disapprove yan ng head, OIC, HR, college director, I'm sorry, but even if you filed for a leave or service incentive leave, hindi tayo pwedeng mabayaran. Okay? Pero wala naman ata so far, yung mga ganun. Okay? Next is the 13-month pay. Na-discuss na ba kanina, Ma'am Riza? Okay, so 13-month pay, as provided by law, it's for rank and file employees. Okay? When we say rank and file employees, those are employees who are not part of the management. Yun ang dinidefine niya na rank and file. Okay? So they worked for at least 1 month during a calendar year, okay? Shall not be less than 1/12 of the total basic salary earned by an employee in a calendar year. Okay. So again, this is for rank and file. But of course, you were asking, what about the managerial employees of past college, like coordinators and heads? Yes, nakakaroon din ng 13-month pay for the mga managerial employees. Okay? Okay, next. Malapit na rin ako matapos, I think. So, let's talk about now the subsidy. Okay? This is the subsidy. Okay? So, ito kasi, I had to clarify this because nakaroon before na hindi siya clear. Ang nasabi noon was, for those who are regular and permanent. But ang regular and permanent kasi ng faculty is what? 3 years. So, paano din yung mga faculty na kahit hindi pa sila na regular pero deserving naman sila or mako-consider natin sila. And they've put in a lot of effort sa department nila and na-recognize yung department nila. So naayos na ito ng college director and also the president. So who are covered by this dental subsidy? Okay, this is a subsidy. Okay, not a benefit, but it is a subsidy that we can actually avail of. So who are covered? These are employees who are regular, full-time employees, okay, or regular, full-time employees or probationary full-time faculty of past college who is in active service with no pending disciplinary case and has rendered at least 1 year of continuous service shall be eligible for dental subsidy. So whether or not hindi pa kayo regular, pwede tayong mag-avail ng dental subsidy, okay? Question is how much how much shall be subsidized by the institution? Okay? So the actual amount incurred will be subsidized provided that the dental subsidy given to those covered shall not exceed 500 pesos per year. Example, okay, so if the expense is 450, the school will shoulder 450 only. Prior to the release of reimbursement, claimant must present an official receipt issued by a dental office. So meron yung mga cleaning, I think below, di ko na alam ngayon, basta 500, kaya below 500, or may mga check-up tayo, pinapacheck, basta ang allowable is 500. If nag-below tayo doon, yun lang ang mako-cover ng school. If for example, nag-pay ng 380 pesos and 25 centavos, yun ang i-cover ng school, okay? So how many times can a covered employee avail of the dental subsidy? So the dental subsidy is provided annually and is non-cumulative. So meaning to say, if hindi natin na-avail, for example, kung kailan ito magiging effective, right? Hindi siya pwedeng sasabihin, ay, hindi ako nakapag-avail last year, meron akong pwedeng mag-avail ng subsidy for 1,000. Okay, so non-availment of the dental subsidy is within the year, subsidy within the year will not add up to the succeeding year, okay? The subsidy will remain to be the actual amount incurred, not exceeding 500 pesos per year, and shall be non-transferable. So hindi natin pwedeng yan sa kapatid natin. Okay, this is especially for you, for us, especially na we want to make sure na kung kailangan tayong magpatingin sa dental, pwede naman, okay? And then pwede tayong magkaroon ng subsidy. Okay? How is excess treated if the dental expense incurred is more than 500 pesos? Okay? So the dental subsidy for the year for a covered employee shall be considered as fully availed. So the difference from the expense incurred less the allotted subsidy amount of 500 shall be borne by the employee. So for example, if the expense is 550, okay, ang i-cover ng school is the full 500, the 50 pesos will be borne by the employee. Okay? So what are the procedures in order to avail of the subsidy? Okay? So mahaba-haba tong procedure pero ito yung yan ko muna. And then we will also be sending out a memo kung paano natin mag-avail. Okay? So eligible employee must formally inform the OIC, copy furnish HRD, requesting to avail of dental subsidy. Email or written letter of covered employee must apprise the OIC of the request and the scheduled dental appointment. Okay? The dental appointment shall be scheduled on a vacant time or at a schedule with the least conflict with work schedule unless it is urgent or emergency reasons. HRD shall validate eligibility of employee and shall take note of the requested schedule leave for dental appointment. Meron pa yung mga proseso sa mga staff involved, like for example, furnishing and tracking ng HR, nurse, and also sa accounting department. Okay? So in order for me just to get through this, yun lang munang ang diniscuss ko. Okay? So again, the memo will be sent. Okay? So this is, I guess, my last slide. Okay? Any questions sa dental subsidy? Wala? Yan na ba? Ma'am Riza? Are you asking for Ma'am Marvic? Is that Ma'am Marvic? Yeah. I think that would be upon the discretion. Pwede naman na siguro, right? CRMM. Kasi pwede naman na kung sino, especially may mga ibang 1 year na, dito, pwede naman na. Just go ahead and provide yung receipt and then marireimburse yan. Okay, make sure pala, no, hindi ko alam kung nabasa ko, pero nandito sa memo, recent din binigay sa akin, if fictitious yung receipt or na-find out ng school, auditor, accounting, or sino, na hindi pala kayo pero yung iba, pero nagpapa-reimburse tayo, all those things are sanctionable and also probably termination, okay? So, with your question, Ma'am Riza, pwede. So, yung mga iba, especially mga may 1 year na, heads, o si Ma'am Marvic, pwede na natin siguro, pwede na natin i-apply yung dental subsidy. Okay? Moving forward. Okay? So, my last slide is, regarding scrap paper, okay? Last slide na yan, tapos na. So, nakasurvive tayo sa mahaba-habang discussion ng konti at kulang pa yan na madami pang kailangan kong discuss sa HR department, okay? So, I want to talk about the scrap paper. The scrap paper kasi, we're practicing na not only is it we're being cost efficient, no, hindi tayo masyadong nagagastos, ngayon kulang na tayo, di ba? Kasi wala nang face-to-face. Okay? So, let's practice that. If it's internal memos, internal concerns, gagamitin nyo, maggamit tayo ng scrap paper. Kailangan lang natin i-check din na make sure walang staples, okay, kasi that will jam and destroy yung printer natin. Check nyo rin mga thickness ng mga papel natin kasi pag manipis, makapal, nakaka-jam din yan, okay? But a very important thing that I want to be able to discuss with you real quick is to make sure that when you use scrap paper, walang confidential information, walang grades, okay? So please make sure na yung iba, not necessarily nanggaling yan sa registrar kasi pwede naman nag-print ng ibang grades ng ibang department and then binigay sa isang department, nadi-disclose yung mga grades nila. We have to observe the Data Privacy Act, okay? Na hindi tayo pwedeng, we want to protect the information ng mga students, okay? Or yung mga confidential information ng mga staff, okay? Or yung mga ibang tao. So, even if hindi natin ka-staff yan, if napansin nyo, ginamit ng student na napunta dito sa school or kung sino man, at may mga personal information, even phone numbers and email address, please no, sa tingin ng iba siguro hindi pa uso dito sa Philippines, pero rampant to sa States. But nangyayari na yung mga identity theft, di ba? Pwede yung mga hackers, pwede lang gamitin yan, date of birth, mga email addresses. So what you need to do there is make sure you rip it, throw it away and you rip it. Don't just crumple it. Okay? And if may napansin kayo na gumamit sila ng scrap paper, advice na lang. Okay? Sometimes, dahil madami-dami tayong ipiprint, hindi natin alam na may mga personal information. If napansin ng ibang department, just kindly call the attention or just have them reprinted in a different paper. Okay? Right? So while it is encouraged and practiced that we use scrap paper as internal documents to not only save on company expenses, but to help our environment, it is highly discouraged and prohibited that we use scrap paper with information such as grades of students and our addresses and personal information of students, staff, and or applicants. Kindly go through your scrap paper file or pile and discard properly by means of shredding or ripping up into pieces before discarding in the trash bin. Okay? And last is, I'd like you to watch this. Turn it up.
Meet Thomas. He is our yellow team member. He is a less effective.
And that's it. Okay? So, ibabalik ko kayo doon sa mission and vision natin nakita nyo sa video. So we have to make sure in order for us to be a premier institution na globally competitive tayo, na we are providing the quality of life na dapat meron, ma-achieve ng mga students natin. Dahil alam natin, yung mga stakeholders natin, they don't come from a wealthy family. They come from different barrios with yung nanay at tatay nila, farmers, fishermen, okay, mga drivers, okay, or market vendors, okay. And we cannot have an employee who's just here for the paycheck to paycheck, or we cannot have an employee here just for the experience. We are very serious when we talk about the education of the students, because that is our fiduciary responsibility to uplift the life ng mga bata. Okay? So please, I appeal to you, okay? I don't know sa mga bago or yung mga existing kung ano ba talaga ang intention nyo, why you are here at Pass College. I can only trust and have confidence that you will align your personal goals sa mission and vision ng Pass College. Okay? And that you will contribute to the uplifting of yung society dito sa Alaminos. Okay? So be a good worker. Let's have collaborative meetings. Okay? Discuss with one another. And let's continue on to pass the legacy and also embody and actually train existing leaders to be the next leaders and stewards of Pass College. So if you have no other questions, I end my presentation. Thank you.
I'd like to add some commentaries on what the HR presented. You see, especially for the first-timers and for those who is very much new to the teaching profession, let me just provide emphasis on the standards being laid out by the HR. As you can see, we live in a modern society right now, and you can very much readily observe this in the news, whereby things that are immoral before is now considered moral today. Do you agree? But the thing is, our moral giver has never changed. Correct? Truth had always remained to be absolute. Meaning, if sinabi yan ng moral giver natin na that's wrong, that's sinful, it can never be right. Do you agree? What I want here to be established, na gusto ko nasa common foundation tayong lahat, is that you have to think of it as this way. It's very dangerous for us to bend, to adapt, to go with the flow, just because society dictates it so. Mawawala yung foundation ng truth natin. What's the danger in that? Truth now becomes subjective. Bakit delikado yun? If you do not have a standard for truth, anong mangyayari niyan? What can be true for one person will be false for another person. Correct? It would now very much distort what is bad and what is good. And at Pass College, we had always adhered to this, that truth is always absolute. Ngayon, madami tayong makikita na external influences now creeping into our academe. In fact, ngayon nauuso yung debate on pronouns where schools are now bending to the will of those who believe that they should be appropriated a pronoun for themselves. I do not subscribe to this because it bends absolute truth. If you're not familiar with this is the appropriation of he, she, they, them, where there are some people who refuse to be identified whether they are he, she, they, them, it. Kung ano-ano lang ang pronoun ang ina-appropriate nila sa kanila. I have nothing against them, but here's my issue with that kasi. The moment that we as an institution, kahit slight lang, na we try to chip off mga certain standards that we are imposing, take note, ang sin naman, it always starts innocently. And ang gusto ko na standard, and the founder's standard has always been to make sure that we are the bastion and upholders of moral truths in this world. Malinaw po. Kasi pag wala tayo doon, saan magre-rely yung mga future generations? I have mentioned this with the SSC where, stealing has now become justified by saying, okay, as long as many will benefit, okay lang magnakaw. No. Stealing is stealing. Now, to start off, there are even cases where moral standards are also being adopted by our teachers. Kaya yun yung ayokong mangyari sa atin. Ano yung mga yun? Take note, these are posts and these are actual scenarios that is happening on big schools even. I just recently read an article by a particular author who is a graduate of a well-known university endorsing that premarital sex is okay. My goodness. What is happening, no? That, these types of white lies are also okay. No. Tayo as teachers, when we accepted the mantle of being a professor, being an instructor, being a teacher, a mentor, we had willingly took on the higher duty to really set the unchangeable standards that these are the moral truths which has not changed, which we all should adhere to. Kaya ayokong isipin yun na grabe naman yung past, pati personal life namin, pati how we act outside. But that's the thing. You belong at an institution who believes na tayo, we should maintain these standards because we owe it to the future generations. That's why this institution is investing in your training and imparting knowledge sa inyo that is founded on biblical truths. Because for us to understand the proper concept of loco parentis, meaning being a parent, we need to understand first, paano ba mag-isip ang isang diligent, prudent father or mother? Correct. And mahirap yan if you're single. But of course, you have your parents naman. But what if your parents are not good role models? Because take note, none of us are perfect. So we go higher. That's why we have always anchored yung loving parent, kanino? To the ultimate parent natin, which is si God. The right standard. Nasa sa Kanya. The proper balance of discipline, rebuking us when we do wrong, setting the pattern, the right pattern, to be more like Him and less of our nature right now. Now, to relay a few, let me just stress on the preamble for Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. I really suggest, especially the new ones, take time to Google this and read it. Because this has been the standard that has never changed. And it says here that under the Code of Ethics, Article 3, specifically Article 3, Section 3, every teacher shall merit reasonable social recognition, for which purpose he shall behave with honor, one, and dignity when at all times. Let me emphasize that. At all times. And refrain from such activities as gambling, smoking, drunkenness, and other excesses, much less illicit relations. Take note iisang article lang yan in our Code of Ethics. So the standards that were being mentioned by the HR is not concocted by her own mind. These are ethical standards that has been established over the years that has not changed. And take note, your Code of Ethics was drafted in accordance with ethical standards based on biblical principles. In Article 11, Section 2, it states there that a teacher shall place premium upon self-respect and self-discipline as the principle of personal behavior in all relationships with others and in all situations. In Article 11 again, Section 3, the following section, a teacher shall maintain at all times a dignified personality which could serve as a model worthy of emulation by learners, peers, and others. Ito yung guiding principle natin na if in doubt, parang hindi ata kanais-nais na magaya ito ng iba. Take note, it stated here, not just your students, by learners, by peers, and others. Ganon kalawak ang responsibility natin being teachers. Now, to qualify, because when we say teachers, we might think na, hindi naman ako nagtuturo and I might be exempted. The Supreme Court has declared that teachers is synonymous with academic personnel. Because academic personnel are members of the academic institution and hence are charged with the same duty and responsibility. That includes, of course, persons such as the HR, me, myself. These are positions essential in running a school. Lastly, in an example set by a landmark case, kung saan ito yung ginawang parating basehan when it comes to academic personnel or academic members' behavior and standard. This was in Joseph Santos versus NLRC, Hagonoy Institute Incorporated. The Supreme Court declared here, to give you a digested story on this, Joseph Santos, a married person, separated in fact from wife niya ata, entered into an illicit relationship. The law categorized illicit relationship as when you're married, you're not supposed to get into any other relationship. Now take note, the relationship may or may be within or outside the school, but this teacher was terminated. So nag-file siya ng case sa labor. Questioning yung termination niya, sabi niya, the school cannot cover matters that they are not privy to. Meaning, hindi naman sila involved doon sa personal issues and concerns ko. The Supreme Court disagreed. And in their decision, to highlight it, they said, as teacher, one serves as an example to his or her pupils. Consequently, teachers must adhere to the exacting standards of morality and decency. A teacher, both in his official and personal conduct, must display exemplary behavior. He must freely and willingly accept restrictions on his conduct that might be viewed irksome by others. To expound on that, anong ibig sabihin nun? We take on the cudgels of certain standards na society now deems it as parang excessive, which is actually true. Kasi ang mindset natin, and I don't know how would I appeal to this. Given, for example, if you would have a child of your own, ang test, sabi nila, is would you be willing to expose that particular child to a set of behavior that you are observing on another person? Like for example, nakikita nyo, gabi, lumalabas, nakikipag-party. Society deems it as okay. Correct. Walang problema doon. That's society. But on the exacting standards of a teacher, if I were the parent, ayokong ma-expose yung anak ko sa taong ganon. Why? Because common sense would dictate, I don't want my child or daughter to be adopting the same behavior where lalabas sila, go out partying and drinking. That is what is meant by the Supreme Court when there are certain standards of a teacher that may seem irksome or parang hindi, what do you call this, katanggap-tanggap para sa atin, pero tanggap ng society. We are really set apart when it comes to others. So, in-specify also ng Supreme Court that this conduct or behavior, whether in and outside the classroom, a teacher must be beyond reproach. They must observe a high standard of integrity and honesty. So I hope this would not be taken as if sort of a restriction. Huwag niyong isipin na, ano ba itong pinasok ko? Ang daming bawal. Think of it as a privilege that you're serving a very, very noble profession. Because your profession is actually at par with those professions by judges and by doctors, where they also have certain code of conduct that we must uphold. Take note. Again, I reiterate this biblical concept that is taught in the Bible. We do not conform to the ways of this world, but we will only adopt and stick to what God teaches us as the truth and the right way to do things. So I hope with that, it would sort of elevate your thinking, what I am doing is in obedience to God. And this is in preparation of the generations to come who will pass through me. In the favorite quotation that AMM loves, which is a quote from Daniel Webster, I do not remember the exact words, but the thought goes that when you work with stones, when you work with paint, when you work with things that perish, all of this would fade away through time. But the difference with us as teachers, we work with human minds. We develop their thoughts. And this, I am telling you, would last your lifetime. Sino dito yung natatandaan nyo pa yung pinakamagaling nyong teacher? Yung pinaka-tinitingalan nyo? I, for one, still remember. Their names are forever etched in my mind, knowing that, I want to be like them for the good example that they have set for me. I want you also to draw inspiration from the same. How do you want to be recognized? How do you want to leave your legacy? Take note, even if you have stepped here, niisip nyo lang, maybe for temporary lang. The funny thing is, I also, in all honesty, I also had the same impression. I thought I would only be here in this profession for ilang years. But I believe I was here since 2002. I've been more than a decade na ata. 20 years na. Yeah. The moment that I graduated, I was already placed here. But the number one reason why I love and I have never left is doon ko nakita na ang impact mo is human lives. Because if there's one thing that the Bible teaches us, and in fact, there was a recent study that I saw here, I saw in a TED Talks that was, I watched in one video that I was watching yesterday. Sabi nila doon that fulfillment actually is not based on money, not based on the material things, but it is on the positive and fruitful relationships that you establish. And doon ko naramdaman na, imagine niyo yun, you would see your graduates, and when they see you, kahit anong place yan or time, kahit may profession na sila, hindi nawawala yung sir and ma'am. Especially if you have made a great impact on them. Especially if you see them doing now the same things, the good things that you taught to them, and they are transferring it to others. The fulfillment there cannot be filled by any other experiences. Kaya ito yung sasabihin ko sa inyo, if there's one thing that I would say to myself who is in your age right now, build the right relationships with your peers, with others, and with students. Because it is in these relationships, the right relationships, the hierarchy of relationships, God at the topmost, it is there where you can find fulfillment. So let me take this opportunity to welcome everyone to the field of teaching. And ang sabi nga nung pastor namin, welcome to the world of fun and adventure. So, good afternoon, and let's continue on with the remaining discussions. I hope that today's conference or mga na-impart sa atin, we would really take note of it and make sure that we would be the person responsible to relay it to other members of our faculty and staff. Again, thank you.
Hello, hello. So, napaka-fruitful ng araw na to, di ba? So, successful naman ang ating orientation today. So, before we end this orientation, may we ask Ma'am Casey yung sa ano po. May ipapapill up lang muna si Ma'am Casey, then we move on the closing prayer with Ma'am Jet. Tuloy na Ma'am Jet. Tomorrow na lang po, start muna tayo dun sa games na regarding yung mga na-discuss this day. So, alam ko naman na nag-take note po lahat. Yan po ay mayroong awards po yun, may prizes po yun. Yung games po natin tomorrow.
I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to one of our Board of Trustees and our regular all year round Santa Claus, Miss Ana Michelle M. Morante.
Hi. Sa mga hindi ko pa nabigyan, utang na lang na. The fire department was inspecting the annex buildings. Kaya medyo ang daming nilista pero powers na lang namin ni Ivan yung tatapat doon. So, I'll be going upstairs. Just continue with what you're doing na lang.
Hello, Mike. Okay, so of course, thank you very much. Gusto ko na rin i-grab muna yung opportunity. Thank you very much for this very fruitful day na refresh tayo with regards to our responsibilities. And I hope that tomorrow I could give justice na maibigay ko yung tama naman na for us to be personally and professionally effective for our personal and professional growth, align or in line with our vision and mission of this institution. So we will be, of course, as I've said, having self-assessment to know our strengths and weaknesses, and of course, to do something to improve and to grow more in our profession so that we can also give the best that we can have. I know that there are a lot of things that are still sleeping in us. Marami pa tayong natutulog na kakayahan, na alam na kailangan nating buhayin, and we really need to work hand in hand with the management. So for tomorrow, para binigay ko na, kasi sabi nga natin when we talk about effectiveness and efficiency, I am really very particular with that time. So I am thinking that if I am still be going to give you tomorrow the first activity, which we can have it already, I give it already this afternoon, and you can have it at home so that tomorrow we can start immediately. So sabi ko din, kanina, sumayaw na tayo, ipapractice din natin yon para bukas magkasabay-sabay tayo. Pag vinidyo naman tayo, maganda-ganda naman. So, so meron ako doon sa, ewan ko, may link ako, yung last, yung ano ba yun, Life Library ko last week, meron doon. Yung iba sinend ko, nag-send na ako to my close friends, sabi ko, ito yung sasayawin natin, para one of the objectives, syempre, to start with, to be effective, kailangan matanggal yung ating mga hiya-hiya. Minsan, medyo marami pa sa atin yung nahihiya, ganon. So, tanggalin yung hiya. Ay, magaling naman kayong kumembot, nahiya lang kayong kumembot. Atin-atin lang, kembot-kembot. So, ganon. So, bukas, it's more on activity. I would really like you to undergo the activities. Nai-enjoy kasi kasi ito activity-based siya. Kasi pag ili-lecture siya, alam na ninyo. But you will be enjoying the activity. I know that even in the thinking of what adjective, di ba? adjective suits your personality, ayan, nag-isip-isip na kayo kung ano yung sa dami ng adjective na pwede ninyong i-describe sa sarili ninyo, think of the best adjective na for sure align pa rin sa ating trabaho. Ayan. Parang ako, earnest because I am earnest in my profession, in my teaching profession. Kaya nga po ako lumabas, bumalik, kasi talagang passion ko yung teaching. So thank you very much.
Hello? Hello? Okay, tapos na po tayo nag-fill up. So, si Ma'am Casey na pong mga closing prayer.
And let us all stand up po and close this program with a prayer. And let us pray po. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, O God. Na Lord, you have given us the opportunity to gather. And thank you, Lord God, for the life of all the speakers, O God, who impart us a message, Lord God, wisdom and knowledge, O God. And Lord, I pray, O God, for tomorrow, Lord God, for whoever the speaker is, Lord, give her, Lord God, knowledge and wisdom, Lord God, to each and every one of us, Lord God, na, for us, Lord God, to develop more, to grow more, Lord God. And Lord, as we go home, let your presence be with us, for us to go home safe. We surrender everything to you. Thank you for our life. We love you and we honor you. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Good evening po.